And there we go. We are now live. Hello. Welcome back to the bonus roll. So, uh,
Hey,
last week we had to be cut short because of various technical issues, and we basically spent the week reworking our stuff. I hope you all enjoyed the new layout. Um, as you can tell from the sniffles, I'm still dealing with the horrible allergies that is my summer every year. But we're back. We're going to try and finish the coin keep and get these people out of the dungeon and into the world of Ravnica. So, with me is this cast as usual. Guys, anyone want to start with their introductions?
hey, I'm the mage, playing Grigum, the goblin monk of Selesnya Conclave. I've also got some lawnmowers going on in the background. Sorry about that.
I'm Rail. I'm clerk of the Cinecombine and snappiest dressed member of the party.
I'm
Ah,
Ingrid.
you go.
I'm Ingrid Corvidae, played by Ziziva, and I'm with the Golgari Swarm.
And finally, hi, I'm Faradir. I'm a ranger of the Simic Combine. There we go.
All right. So, before we were rudely interrupted by technical issues last game, y'all had gone down a hallway past an ancillary hallway that went about 20 feet and then proceeded into this room where a earthquake or something had caused a chasm to open up. Through through use of her familiar, Ingrid determined that what initially appeared to be writing on the wall was just scratches that was made to look like words. And y'all had proceeded to kind of scope out and check out the gulf, but not found anything. Did I miss anything? Am I muted?
You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
I was just curious because no one was saying anything.
We figured there was more.
No, I mean, literally,
Yeah,
I can't
that
tell you
sounds-
more. It's pretty much just a big hole in the ground. Although y'all did hear, one of y'all heard a voice in the back of your head saying that the same voice that had been whispering to y'all earlier in the dungeon that to jump into the hole to find them.
When we were in the room with all the hands, did we see any other passageways, or was this the only one we saw?
That was the only one you saw. I mean, there was a lot of your vision was very obscured, but when y'all were crawling through the floor, y'all didn't see any other openings.
So unless the doors were put maybe like a foot or two high off of the floor that we were crawling on our bellies to get under.
Are no epic perception checks. But so we had the dead end hallways, one on either side of the lava chasm that basically you go down a long way. Yeah. So we could continue to check that out again and see if we notice anything else, maybe. Other than that, scouting the hands room might be an idea.
Yeah, we still don't understand what those hallways are for, period.
Well, the one on the upper reach y'all found had liquid seeping out of it that was kind of rusty and red.
Yeah, both of them were leaking. I was like, I don't get
Well, the upper one was. The lower floor wasn't. There was a hole in it like the one on the upper floor was leaking, but there wasn't anything leaking out of the one in the hallway that y'all just passed.
Yeah, but that doesn't really say much of anything unless it... No, not even then, because it would need to be a bigger hole.
And we have
sewage, but, I don't know. It's like...
Yeah, no, it was like just like this big. It was like poke a finger in it.
We have another unexplored
cutting
area too, which is the den. So that is also an exploring option.
The gallery upstairs, the one with the giant doors, right?
Going with the
Yeah.
big hole in the ghouls.
She wants to jump down to the big hole of the scary creatures for some
Ah.
reason.
Just if everyone wants to,
Look,
then I would go.
We get it. You're a friend of the undead. They cannot harm you. you are the Gandalf of undead.
Okay. Trying to. I think I already checked for like secret doors and stuff, right?
Yeah, you kind of like tentacled across the area and checked like the sidewalls and didn't find anything other than like a few small crevices, which you stuck your hand into and didn't really find anything other than rock and dirt.
Okay, this may be a strange question, but what would a check be for like, I guess sense of direction? Like, I guess my question is that can I see if the hole with the running fluid would be like directly on top of the other thing?
Okay, so you're doing kind of like a spatial awareness check.
Yeah, like what skill would that be?
You might want to also consult Gregum's maps since he's been mapping.
I would say go ahead and make a straight intelligence roll for me.
Okay.
Here, come check out my etchings.
19.
19? Okay. Huh. You're, as a ranger, you do like tracking and like keeping the location of a landmark versus where you are in your mind fairly well. So you can kind of like, okay, we went down this far, we in this direction, and then this direction, and you can kind of figure that the hallway that was leaking was about 60 feet directly above y'all, actually, not above the hallway that y'all passed by.
60 feet what now?
Y'all descended about 60 feet down a stairway to the second level. And so that moved y'all in a forward direction. So the room that y'all are in now, the one with the chasm, is almost directly below that hallway that had the leak in it. But like 60 feet, not one floor.
Mm-hmm.
And what does this see like?
Okay.
The ceiling, it's kind of worked stone. You're not sure what's being used to mortar it, with the exception of where there's been an earthquake. It looks like it's fairly nice, but there's cobwebs and a bunch of stuff over the area. The opening in the floor is basically the whole thing just shifted to the side. So there's like a roughly 30-foot chasm above y'all as well as the 40-foot one below y'all. That there doesn't appear to be anything like running water or anything leaking out of that either. It just looks like solid stone.
I'm just racking my brain here trying to figure out what place have we not explored at this point.
I'm going to go ahead and send Watcher up for a perception check on the ceiling.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll.
Ah! Okay, that dice is banished because it's on the floor. 14.
14. Watcher kind of sweeps around and just gives you a blank mental response.
Well,
So this floor is below the one with no, where the trickle was going down.
Okay, so like
Sorry.
this is the room with the trickle,
Right.
and this is the room y'all are in now.
okay. Like
And I'm showing off my dice.
okay, so I'm Grigum
Very nice.
is going through all his papers, like and whatnot, and his like impromptu maps, and like, and is trying to figure out what haven't we explored, what are we missing?
We could go agitate the hands and then see if there's anything above them.
No.
While we're all considering, Rail is going to just kind of sit down and a little ritual circle and cast Detect Magic again.
Okay.
It's
That's
going to take about
10 minutes. Alright, so y'all got about 10 minutes of watching Rail, perform a small ritual. And then 10 minutes later, poof, a couple magic items that your compatriots are carrying light up. You don't really see anything else in the area, though. Oh, actually, roll me perception check,
Okay.
please.
That is a 12.
12? Okay, no worries. Grigum, go ahead and make me a wisdom roll, please.
Okay.
Grigum. Not you, Rail. Rail, stop. Why are you doing this, Rail? Grigum, the goblin.
That is a non.
Hello?
Hey.
Okay, are people hearing me?
Yes. I was like,
Okay, Grigum,
You
could
know.
you make me a wisdom roll, please?
okay. I was like, most certainly would like to. I was like,
Sorry, got broken
What
up
did-
there for a
what did
second.
Rails like? What did Rails wisdom reveal? I was like,
Well, I wasn't asking Rail to roll wisdom, so...
Hmm?
I wasn't asking Rail to roll wisdom, so not much. You're the one that's
What
been
about rolling wisdom? I was like,
Brigham, please
Sounds
make a
like I
wisdom
suggest-
roll.
I am making one. I'm making one.
Thank
I
you.
was just wondering what Rail got.
I didn't ask Rail to roll it. I don't
19.
know. 19? Okay.
We got there.
I was asking you because you're the one who have actively been making notes and writing stuff down.
Yes, but you also asked Rail to roll at wisdom. It's like,
No,
Did not.
no, I asked Rail to roll
Okay,
perception.
Rail just started rolling for some reason.
Yeah, that was why.
I didn't hear Grickum's name. I only heard Rail. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Same either.
If
May have been an audio glitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's no big deal. I was like, okay. Anyway, as you're the one that's been taking notes, it kind of sticks in the back of your head that the upper floor, the hole, if liquid was seeping through there had to have been an opening in the back of that hole that would be allowing liquid through.
And the issue is it's not dripping down here. It's like,
You're not sure what the issue is, but that's kind of like the thing that's been sticking in the back of your head is like that opening that the liquid was coming through in the upper reaches had to be coming from somewhere, and there had to be a passageway for it to be getting to that opening.
yeah, we're gonna have to go back. It's like,
Go back where?
so wait, we descended? It's like,
Yeah, y'all are on the second floor. Y'all are about 60 feet below.
We
Right.
took a staircase down
This-
from the nest
yeah,
room.
Yeah.
like for some reason I thought we went upstairs, and I was like, this is some Temple of Elemental Evil shit right here. That
Now you're
we
thinking.
go upstairs,
portals.
we're down a floor. Like, so yeah, I'm like, moving on. I'm like, let's just backtrack. Like, we're
Okay.
gonna have to backtrack, get back to that hallway with leaking
Across the
something
lava
up there.
again.
There has to be something. It's like,
Yeah, there has to be something. That's what's like. So y'all walk past the doorway to the side room. Y'all go down the hallway, past the room where the horror was. Y'all fought back into the mural room, and you stop and you look, and there is that room full of hanging hands again, and the actually. Yeah, no, that's all y'all see.
so room of hanging hands, and that's it. And it's like,
Yeah, in the next room. Y'all are standing in that room with the mural with like the vampires along the north-facing wall, or the northern wall. Sorry, not north-facing.
We see the sigil of Hastamir in this one
There
as well.
are a few, but they're not as large or ornate as the ones that were in the previous rooms. You get the feeling that these are probably not designed to mess with your mind so much as they are signatures. But yeah, there's like a vampire along along the wall that has like a Demir clasp, and he's like feeding on a person, but it's like not teeth and neck; it's hand over forehead with energy seeming to come out of the person.
so I'm gonna
Interesting. I'm
like
definitely
down
at this
by-
point. I would say that I put my marks in with the dagger on the stone for sure while we were traveling.
Okay.
To mark that off, just as a note.
Not on the artwork though.
No, on the floor.
So yeah, I'm gonna get down onto my belly and just start crawling like half speed underneath these hands again.
Okay. As you crawl into the room, make me a wisdom saving throw.
17.
Okay. There, as you crawl into the room, there's that purplish white flash, and nothing happens.
Just keep going. It's like,
Okay, so you kind of like belly crawl all the way to the stairwell.
I ask Watcher if he wants to get in my backpack and me slide him across, or if he wants to walk on his own.
Watcher kind of like chirps at you and just kind of clings to your shoulders.
My backpack, and I put him in the cloak in the backpack, and I push it in front of me so I can go really low.
Okay. So you're crawling into the room too?
Yep.
Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw. What'd you roll?
19.
Okay. You crawl into the room behind Griggum. There's the same flash, and nothing happens. All the way to the stairwell? Alright.
I guess I'm gonna follow.
Alright.
two,
I'm assuming you're crawling.
Yes.
I am going to walk into the hand room.
You're going to
and
walk
cast
into it?
Turn Up
Oh, okay.
and cast Undead.
Turn undead? Alright.
Turn Undead, not cast.
Okay. Channel
Can I-
divinity.
When I see him casting, I start backing up, like up the stairway a little bit.
Okay. So, as the wave of divine animation, like, ripples out across, the hands kind of twitch and wiggle, and they're definitely more animated now, but they're also suspended in the air and have no way of moving themselves.
I was about to say. Now they really want to run, but they have no legs.
Yeah. Gives me a chance to in this room without having to do it at crawling level.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna.
So, you're going into the room then?
I am.
Yes.
Yeah. Are y'all both walking
I
into
guess I
the
still
room,
have
or...?
detect magic.
No, crawling, of course.
Okay. Rail, are you walking into it or crawling?
Rail is walking. He
Okay.
doesn't want to get his coat dirty.
Both of y'all go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
that doesn't sound good.
8.
8? Okay. Fairdeer, as you crawl in, there's that flash of light, and the stairway is gone. As is the passageway that was behind you.
That look on his face right now.
Rail, what did you roll on your wisdom saving throw?
That would be an hang on, 13.
13. There's a flash
13. Yep.
there's a flash of purple-white energy as you walk into the room, and suddenly the passageway that was behind you, as well as the stairway, are gone, and also 3 of the hands attack you because they have turn immunity.
Ooh.
That is a 20, a 6, and an 11. Does an 11 hit you?
It does.
It does or doesn't? You're getting the end of yours snipped off every now and then. Okay, so just one of them hits you. So you take a step forward, confident that your turn worked, and immediately get scratched across the face for 4 damage as a claw flails at you.
Ooh. What was the attack?
What was the attack? It clawed at you when you walked into it. It was a natural 20. You got very lucky, and I rolled a 2. So, 4 damage.
As soon as the sorry, is his turn or whatever done?
I mean, he just got attacked. These things can't really act on their own unless y'all walk into it, so no initiative rolls. If he stays there, it's going to keep clawing at him.
Okay, so assuming I'm not talking out of turn here, I'm assuming like the effect is immediate of the passageways disappearing.
Yeah, basically there's a flash of purple-white light that blinds you, and when the light is gone, the room is just looking like a solid room around y'all with no entrances or stairways.
Okay, so I do like, I'm assuming this happens like the moment I get there, so I'm gonna do like an immediate 180 and like tap along where I came from.
Okay.
Like on the wall.
Solid rock. The whole way across.
Dude, you're going the wrong way.
You can hear Ingrid calling at you, but you can't see where she is.
It's another bloody illusion. And
Oh,
Rayleigh's
shit,
going to
those
cast
suck.
Shillelagh and smack the hand that smacked him.
Okay, that hand just basically... don't even need an attack roll. They can't dodge or anything like that. They're just hanging there. And they have literally 2 hit points. I'm assuming that you have a bonus of something.
Yes.
At this point, like Fairdeer is probably just gonna get mad and just start stabbing the freaking hands with his dagger.
Like, roll over and just stab.
Yeah, just like, son of a... like, you know, just trying to...
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're within 5 feet of them. And they have, like, really low AC because they can't move, and really low HP, so basically you're just, like, stab, and they stop moving, each one.
Fasting time.
One quick sort of out-of-character thing.
Mm-hmm.
About the audio glitches. Could everybody confirm what region they're on in the upper right-hand corner? Let's just make sure that we're all on the same Discord server.
I'm set to US South.
I am as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Meryl?
I'm on US South as well.
Okay. So I guess that's none.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a little lag and glitches in Meryl's feed as well. Demage, can you hear us okay? Demage? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear anything from you, so I was like, uh-oh, am I not getting through? Okay.
No, I just wanted to cross that one off just to make sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, y'all basically, like, every attack is almost guaranteed to hit, assuming that you can roll at least average.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if y'all want, y'all can start clearing these things out. It's going to take a while, though. There's, like, just giving a rough estimate, over 200 hands hanging from the ceiling here, just from the size. Y'all could spend about...
we don't have time for that.
Y'all could probably just clear a path, but it'd be a very, like, it'll be just as tedious, just not as long.
I feel like my character's not really being very discriminatory about it. It's just like the walls have vanished. He can't get through, and he's just like
Slashing
"Grr."
hands.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
just
it's
trying to
rather-
clear around the base of the stairwell so that they can see that bubble of open space where the
Okay.
base of the stairwell is, since I can't see the stairwell.
has
Okay.
Grigum gone through?
Yeah, he went through. You can't see
Um,
him either.
Grigum, can you stick your quarterstaff like through like the sort of barrier walkway?
Was anyone talking about me? I was like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair Deer asked if you could stick your quarterstaff through where the stairwell ends to see if he can see it through the illusion.
for who? It was like, for
For me.
Faraday? Okay, alright. He's like, alright, why not? He's like, I'll give it a try. He's like, I'm sorry, you didn't come in quite clearly, so.
Okay.
Alright.
So even this is going to have some issues, it looks like. I don't know, maybe we just need to fly everyone to a central location. So, Grigum, I'm assuming you stick your staff through the opening of the stairway?
Yeah.
Don't see anything.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, Faraday sees nothing.
Okay. Are you sticking the staff through the stairway?
He is. I'm just going to work on clearing a big bubble around the base of the stairway, kind of
And I mean,
towards his direction.
you can't see the blasts, but you see, like, every now and then there's, like, a little energy and a hand goes pfft, and explodes in, like, a little chunklets, which is now a new favorite word of mine, chunklets.
Like blasts are
I
just
don't know if I like that
coming
word.
through the wall, basically?
No, you don't even see the blast. You just see, like, a little trail of purple energy for a second, and then the hand go pfft.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to start rhythmically tapping the floor if he can't just hear us or anything. He's like, or hear me talking. He's like,
Oh, he can hear you talking, he just can't see you.
okay. He's like,
Stupid question. I can't just like
hello,
close
this
my eyes
sound
and walk
of my
forward, right?
increasingly annoying voice.
I close my eyes and walk towards the somewhat more masculine Fran Drescher.
Okay, so I'm
Walk or
assuming
crawl?
I'm assuming you're crawling still, or you're like slashing hands as you go.
No, I'm just like slashing hands. I'm just like,
Okay,
screw it.
so Rail is not Rail. Faraday is basically like bushwhacking
Yeah.
his way through the hands, and
Exactly.
you get to the wall,
Taking machete to it all.
and you're going to just try and walk through it.
Yeah, close my eyes and just go forward towards the voices.
Solid stone.
The moment he comes within grabbing range, we grab him and pull him through.
Okay, so you grab him, pull him through. Are you holding on to him?
Oh boy, no wait.
Okay, you pull him through, his eyes immediately go blank, he turns around and walks back into the room.
With us?
Are you holding on to him?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and I need y'all to make opposed strength checks then. Faraday, roll strength, please.
I wasn't going to necessarily hold on to him.
11.
Someone needs to be able to
I
be
get
on the
athletics
stairway for.
grappling, right?
What was that, Graham?
I get athletics for grappling, right? It's like,
Well, this is more like you're trying to hold him in place. So it's less...
right, and I'm struggling against him. Like,
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and let you use athletics. Tux, go ahead Faraday, go ahead and add your athletics to your roll as well.
I do an arcana on how to dispel illusions of this type.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a roll, and I'll get to that as soon as I get their contest done.
okay. 11.
11? Faraday, what was your...
I mean, I am just a goblin, and if I'm the
I
only one
think
working
it's just
on
11.
this, it's like,
Because I don't have like any training athletics, and the +1 is from my strength. So I'm assuming like they
Okay.
don't stack.
Yeah, no. Okay. So basically,
Neither of us are making
yeah,
headway.
you're trying. Faradir is blank-eyed, trying to robot walk back into the room, and Griggum is like holding on to him by the waist and just like kind of drag back, drag forward, as like neither of them get purchase or make
Like,
progress.
it's very impressive the goblin is able to do this, but it's not getting anywhere without any additional help.
You didn't want Ingrid's help with this. She has no training and a -1 modifier. But a 21 roll in Arcana to try to figure
21?
out a good way to break it. Yeah.
All right. So you know that an illusion is two components. It is the magic and the effect on the brain. And the magic causes the brain to rationalize any effect that would be incongruent with the illusion. Whereas if like even if you know there's an open hallway there, you try and walk into it, your brain is telling you you just walked into a wall. Which is why you're seeing Faradir now blank-eyed trying to walk back into the room, because his brain is telling him he just walked into a wall, and he's trying to basically reset to position 0.
I want to chill the water in my flask and like try to splash him in the face to see if he'll come out of it.
Well, I mean, remember, you rolled really good on your Arcana, so you understand that anything that it affects or interacts with him that is contrary to that illusion, until like he breaks the illusion, his brain is just going to rationalize it. It'll think that, oh, there's a leak down here or something like that. Griggum, Faradir, I need another athletics check from each of you.
7.
7?
21.
20. Graham, you basically like reach up, hook an arm around his neck, and just slam him back into the stairway. Faradir, go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw to see if that breaks the illusion.
I was about to say, I basically feel like this is a fuck it moment.
10.
Just firemen carry him.
Okay, well, I mean, that's kind of what y'all had to do with Ingrid in the hallway. So, 10? Okay. You basically crack your head back on the stairs. You're not going to take any damage from that because it's less than 10 feet and mechanics, but you got a hell of a headache, but you can see, like, the doorways now. Rail is still unable to see the doorways, though. He has, like, cleared a little path of hands, though, so he's relatively safe. What you going to do?
I'm actually going to try to... What happens if I try to hit the wall?
The wall, like the opening that you came through, or where you just saw Faradir disappear into?
Where Faradir disappeared through. Just kind of grab the cane, shillelagh it up, and smack.
Tick, 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 you hear it pounding on the wall. Guys, the rest of y'all, however, see Rail just kind of like do this in your face.
I'm like,
We could try to lasso him and then pull him. That way we can go up the stairs a little bit and he can't pull us through.
I think that if you do that, we all need to kind of tug of war him.
Well, yeah, once we're further away from the opening, so we're not like 2 feet and we can be pulled back in the room.
Well, actually, I know there's a doorway here, but I really cannot see it.
man, what happened to interacting with illusions helps breaking them?
All for lassoing the, researcher?
Well, the problem is that interacting with it, your brain rationalizes what's going on.
I disbelieve the air.
Oh god!
Okay.
A little spinning disc appears in the air.
Anyway.
Put my hand up here, and he's putting his hand on the wall where a doorway should be, and he's just like, there's rock here. This is,
I loop some rope around his wrist.
Okay, are you just looping it, or are you like swoop and pulling?
It's like it's a loop. It's like that should tighten when I yank on it, which
Okay.
I'm going to do. It's like,
All right, Rail.
and I guess so. It's like
Mhm.
I'm not sure if he's competent enough to make a lasso. Like
I mean, it's a
in either
basic
case,
rope
I
thing.
stretch. I can't do it.
I would probably, I would think, be familiar
So
with
I toss
knots.
the rest of the rope to the rest of my 25 feet of rope to the rest of the guys, and I'm just like, okay.
I mean, so
pull.
like discussion out of character.
Mm-hmm.
One of my abilities is snare,
That's a
where
spell.
I'm basically making a magical version of that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that would mean that I know how to tie that knot.
Yeah.
So I tie the knot to do that.
Discussion out of character. Where's Kay?
K? That is a good.
Yes.
K is with y'all. He's basically just belly crawling across because that's what he had to do before, and no one told him to do different.
Yeah.
Okay, get up to the stairs.
So, Griggum, you toss the rope to the rest of the party and said help. Is anyone helping Griggum on this?
I am.
All right, so Griggum, roll
Better
with
because
advantage.
I rolled-
Strength.
I was about to say that first roll was not looking good. That one looks so much better. That's a 20 total. That's like
20 total. Rail, could I have you roll your strength?
That'd be a 14.
So
Y'all just haul him through, and you immediately see his eyes go like blank, and he turns around and starts trying to get back through the doorway.
I guess since it was yesterday, no one remembers Ingrid doing a lot of rope tying and stuff.
Rail, go ahead and
Alright.
make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
That'll be a 19.
19. You basically get hauled through the doorway, like go blank for a second, and then there's a doorway here.
Thank you, but it didn't need to be quite so rough. Alright. So is that going to just go off anytime we walk through that room then?
Yeah,
That
it
looks
seems
like
like
it.
it.
Oh.
Unless y'all figure out some way to keep that from happening.
Ingrid's been staying a distance away from him up the stairs as we pull him in because Watcher's probably not happy with him.
Watcher wasn't in range.
I'm doing the scratches on the
Okay.
floor.
After
Um,
rage slashing a bunch of hands.
Yeah, I mean, this dagger is pretty much like,
Fubar.
yeah, a butter knife at this point, probably. But
I mean, all you researchers have like mending and stuff for your glass vials and things, don't you?
I turned to Rail.
I love that this thing
Yeah.
like when I open it. Ah. Okay, don't mind the GM drinking. He just has to refresh every now and then. So y'all standing in a stairway. There's now a bunch of hand corpses in the room before y'all. Y'all created a fairly clear pathwards between Rail just kind of bapping the things and Faradir Donald ducking his way through.
Deer was not happy and not taking any of that shit.
Are y'all continuing back up to the next floor?
Yeah.
yes.
All right. So y'all go up to the
Let's
next floor in that round and that chamber with the hole in it. The pile of coins is gone. Y'all stop for a second, look around. No sign of ghouls. Y'all gonna keep on going?
Yes, but not into the hole.
Oh no, I'm assuming y'all are going into the hallway, the entryway.
Yeah, see, that would be my assumption too, but I've been proven wrong before.
You know, this might bypass the lava, but it's okay. We'll try the lava again.
Okay. Everyone who goes into. Oh, go ahead. No, please go ahead. I know what I'm going to say, so I want to know what you're going to say. Okay, so everyone that goes into the hallway, the entryway, the grand foyer, the 20-foot tall room with the observatory on this around the edge, go ahead and make me another wisdom saving throw as a bright
Mm-hmm.
purple-white flash of light engulfs your vision.
Yep.
18.
15.
Also 18.
16.
Okay, y'all are there. That flash fades, and the doorways are still there.
Is there any indication
Gotta
of where the
find
flash
where
is coming
that.
from?
Yeah, like we've gotta
Yeah.
find out where this is coming from because it seems like everywhere and nowhere.
Pretty much bracketing the doorways are two Demir insignias, and the light has been emanating from those every time y'all enter the room.
Oh.
Can we just like scuff them up or something? Like, what do you magic folks think? It's like,
Arcana roll?
Go ahead and make your roll.
Blast it.
12.
You don't know the specifics of this kind of magic, but you know generally if something is glowing and flashing, damaging it makes it stop glow and flash, or at least that's your experience with most magic, as well as is it machinery.
So
Please, just
think-
blast it.
yeah, let's get a distance from it and then blast it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and take some shots at the ones I see from like the middle of the room.
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll for each one of those shots.
4 total?
If that's how many shots you're taking.
$17, 10, 11, and 8.
You guys basically watch Ingrid walk into the room and goes to like, and scorch mark across each of the eyes. There's like a heavy pause for a moment, and then less like cracking sound as the stonework kind of crumbles and the Demir insignias fracture with little little lines like broken glass almost.
They're probably good now. Let's go ahead and tackle lava. My favorite thing.
My first suggestion is don't
right.
tackle lava.
I didn't catch what you
he has
said,
a
Rail.
point.
Rail, I didn't catch what.
Oh, right. The lava.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so y'all go through the side hallway and y'all enter the room with the lava flow. It's still flowing from the north into like just a hole that's worn on the southern side of the wall. Still about 20 feet across.
Alright.
Hmm.
Well,
Guess we're doing this.
I mean, all we've got's rope, so. Oh, you were calling on the ceiling earlier, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, let's just do what we did last time in reverse. Let's move this along.
Yeah, y'all
Yeah.
can remember the first time y'all crawled in. Faradir basically just hugged y'all against him, and just wall crawled across the southern wall, where it's not like.
Actually, we shouldn't be able to. And we should have it on notes, but we shouldn't remember it.
No, you remember the very first time when y'all first initially came in. Y'all don't remember the rope harness or anything like that. Y'all may have notes
Because
of
we
it.
like we had to have crossed this once before. It's like
Yeah, and you
got
remember
into
like
the place. It's
yeah,
like,
the very first time y'all came in here that you now remember. Basically, Faradir ferried y'all across that 20-foot bridge across the southern wall, and then y'all went into the next room where the floor was kind of weird, fleshy, spongy mat, and then y'all headed north and got ambushed by 5 ghouls at the crossroads.
long story short, will be our third time crossing this lava pit. And it's like,
Yes, and you're going to have to
Hopefully
cross
it's
it
a
again to
charm.
get out. So, I'm assuming y'all are doing the same thing with Faradir, ferrying you across. Faradir, go ahead and make me 4 This is just to make sure you can carry them all right while sticking to the wall. Go ahead and go with athletics, because this is more of a powering through than a dodging thing.
Okay. I got actually. So that's 12.
Okay, so first person across, whoever that is. Who's the next person across? Or what's the next one for?
21.
Okay, keep on going. 2 more.
17.
17.
16.
Okay. I mean, this is, you're basically easily just like scuttling across. There's no real issue here because no one is fighting you. So that's just basically checking to make sure you can keep a grip on them. Y'all cross relatively easily. Watcher just literally flitters across and then watches y'all. The biggest difficulty is getting K, but that's now that you have a memory of how you did it and you've crossed it like a couple times, it's like, oh, I've done this. I know what I'm doing. So y'all cross into that small little room where the flesh mat was. You remember down the hallway directly in front of you was that room that y'all met Rybald in, and then the passageway to your left eventually leads to the hallway with the dripping liquid. So y'all are continuing on to the hallway with the dripping liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so y'all track, and this is a long hallway, so y'all are much further north than where y'all, like, descended, but due to the angle of the descent, it kind of lines up with above the chasm, so you know, like, 60 feet down through near solid rock or so, there's a big opening. Y'all approach the end of the hallway, that kind of reddish, rusty looking water is like just kind of yip, 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 the hole in the upper part of the wall and into a little puddle on the ground that's then draining into a crack in the floor. I'm not seeing. Did Grig? Okay, there we are. Sorry, you froze for a second. Could you say whatever you said before, Griggum?
Now, can we just take like 20 to search this area or something? He's like,
go ahead and make me whoever is all right, are y'all doing this as a team effort or are y'all individually looking?
We'll go with team effort.
All right, so whoever is helming this search, roll me an investigation with advantage.
don't look at me, I've got a 0.
I've got a plan investigation. I like to think I'm a little good at it.
Okay, if you have some investigation, then you're probably the best at this, so you can lead.
Alright, I'll make the roll then.
Let's see that roll, Rail.
$17 and 21.
21. All right. So a combination of you four standing around going, well, maybe check this. Maybe check this. Eventually it gets down to the point it's like you have Rail take a basically a stick, a rod, or whatever y'all have that's basically about that big around, and push it through the opening that the water is coming out, and there is a soft click, and then a slight rumble, and the wall in front of you kind of recedes, slides to the side, and I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw as a just tidal wave of rusty water rolls down the hallway.
18.
This rusty water isn't euphemism, is it?
Unnatural 20.
Okay. Natural 20. What did you roll, Fire Deer?
18.
Non-natural.
Oh, non-natural. 18?
Yes.
Okay, I got an
That's a
18.
15
Dex.
for me.
15? Okay. Y'all all basically just like, oh, shit. grab the wall as the water just like sweeps past y'all, and none of y'all get swept along with it. Rail, you asked something as I was asking for the roll.
Just this rusty water isn't a euphemism for something else, is it?
No, it's literally just
red
water
water.
that smells like faintly brackish and metally, and is a little red.
Don't drink it.
As,
Okay, so this wasn't the shine.
yeah, no. As the water finishes flowing, you can hear off in the distance like psh, and it's starting to get a lot more humid in here as water basically pours down the hallway and into lava. Y'all are standing in front of an opened room that's maybe 60 by 60, and there's like furniture in here, a cot, some scroll work, what was originally scroll work, like the remains of books and stuff, but everything is just soaked and water damaged, and you get the idea like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on here. Water has been seeping into this room from the swamp and has completely filled it to the point that it was running out through the mechanism in the secret, the little words.
Well,
Thank you. Passageway opening.
Secret door switch.
Yes.
thank God that such a mechanism was actually waterproof.
It wasn't.
But it still worked.
Well,
It
it's
was just the water because it's mechanical.
yeah, it's not like a high, finite, very fragile. It's literally just a latch with a trigger that you click it, and the wall then on a system just moves out of the way.
Okay.
And it was a 60 by 60, no other passageways out of it.
Y'all don't see any other passageways or anything like that.
I'm gonna send Watcher in to look for those push things.
Like,
Actually, maybe we should check for traps first. Since there were mechanisms to open the thing, there may be other mechanisms to keep other people out.
all
And
right.
also, so I guess I'll check for traps. I'd also have Ingrid check for any more of the Demir, like, insignias that do the purple thing.
Okay, so I'm going to ask whoever is doing a search for traps, since you're just basically looking around for it instead of like doing like, okay, is this okay? Since you're basically looking around instead of going like, okay, is there a blade between here? Is there a blade between here? You're not investigating. You're just looking around. Go ahead and make me a perception check. Same thing is if Ingrid, if you want to acquiesce to his request, you would need to make a perception check to see if you can spot any Demir insignias too.
They were on the insides of the doors, so my gut instinct is we'd probably have to walk into the room before trying to do it, but I could aim a couple blind strikes at the edge of the door at the height the others were and from the outside and see if I can damage the stonework. I'm not going to go in and make a perception check, but I'll aim a couple blind strikes to begin with.
Okay, so basically you kind of like just reach around and like each side of the wall. Go ahead and make me your attack rolls. Faraday, what did you roll on your perception?
12.
You don't see any traps.
24 and 23, 22, I mean.
Okay. This is basically just checking to see if you beat the hardness of the rock as opposed to being able to hit. And there's like that little sound that she makes that y'all hear every time she fires a beam, and then she reaches across the other side, and y'all have no idea what effect it had until y'all go into the room and check.
Yeah, I think it's probably safe at this point.
Okay, I'm going to send Watcher to look for the push area.
Okay, so Watcher is searching for like a keystone like that first secret room y'all found? Okay, what's Grigum doing?
Grickham is gonna wander and start poking around as well. He's like,
Okay, go ahead and...
his usual quiet self at this point.
I don't know if you want a perception or investigation, but Watcher got a natural 20.
Natural 20? No signs of anything. There's no Demir logos or insignias or anything like that. This does look like it was set up as like a hidey hole of sort from Griggum just kind of walking around. There's like, a place to sleep. There's places to store stuff. There's some what was at some point entertainment before the book soaked through and just dissolved in rusty water.
Also, Watcher's a pseudo dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, Watcher's like and just flips around, pokes at a few things with his tail, and then flicks back to you completely disinterested.
All right. So if there's one thing we've learned here, it's like there are secret rooms.
Secret rooms, hidden doorways, and traps.
Well, we can search this room really well, and I guess now we know the secret to the other hallway. Potentially.
Right, which means we gotta go back.
Alright, before we leave, is there anything that's not just completely destroyed? Anything that that might be salvageable from this room?
Go ahead and make me a. I'm gonna go with intelligence check here, just as flat intelligence roll. I didn't catch that number.
18.
18. So, as an archivist, a researcher, a librarian, whatever your history with reading a lot of books, you have come across some water damage in the past, and you can tell from like the soggy mess of paper that anything that had been in here has probably been completely submerged for at least maybe a few months, if not longer.
I sure hope the Izzet with the power plant weren't counting on this room as a cooling area now.
I mean, the water was tepid. It wasn't like freezing, but it wasn't hot either. It was just like, this water has been sitting in a closed up area for a while and it's starting to smell kind of funny.
So back over the lava, everyone?
I guess.
Get to that next, the other possible secret door.
Okay, so, in Expedition, you've done this like 3 times now. Faraday's like, I got this, and he basically just hefts y'all across one after another. Y'all go back down into the main foyer. There, as y'all enter the room, there's like this, like it's like a pop bulb. It's not the blinding flash that had been before. There's like just like of purple white light from one of the things, but it doesn't obscure your vision or anything like that. It's like someone took a camera flash to the corner of your eye as y'all look around and nothing. Y'all continue into the circular room with the ghoul hole. Again, checking it.
We're just gonna
No sign of ghouls.
right on by.
Just kind of like against the wall, scoot, scoot, scoot down the stairway. There is a path now carved through the hands thanks to Rel and Faraday.
I want to try to make a couple blind strikes at the height of the other insignia that did the illusions.
Okay, so you're trying to shoot through the hands at the walls where you would think the insignias are?
I'm just shooting for the close wall, like right at the end of the stairway.
Okay, so you're more reaching around like you did at the... Okay, go ahead and make me the roll, your attack rolls again.
12 and natural 20 plus 5.
Okay, 12 and nat 20. So you kind of reach around and again, and there's a cracking, breaking sound, but you can't see anything until you go in there.
Okay, let's get out of here. Ah!
We may have lost Ziziva for a second, but I think she can
Hand down.
So, as y'all enter the room, there's like that camera bulb flash of purple light again, but this time it's not blinding as well. You're starting to get the idea that as long as that the full room has to be engulfed with the light for the illusion to take effect. So y'all get like, ooh, I'm seeing spots before my eyes as y'all enter the room, but the doorways are still there. Threading through the Donald Duck carved machete path of hands, y'all enter in the room with the vampire carvings along the vampire artwork mural along the north wall.
I want to try to take out the other doorway stuff just in case as we approach it.
Go ahead and make your rolls.
That one's a natural 1 and 13. So 6 and 13.
Okay, so one of them you like, because you're in the room, I'm assuming at this point. You saw where the flash is coming from. You're like, pfft. One of them, no problem. It starts cracking with that glass-like, the broken glass-like look. The other one, you accidentally shoot a hand that's hanging near it, and it just like goes as chunks of hand fall to the ground, and it goes limp. But you got one of them at least. So y'all continue on into the mural room. The hallway. Continue. All right, y'all are going to continue up into the hallway to the right, and then to the doorway to that little ancillary hallway.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all come up. You open the door. Like there's literally just those two doors are the only ones y'all have actually encountered here. That's actual doors. Like, and there's that flat wall with just that little hole up at the top.
Well, let's get the cracking.
Oak.
Alright, so you take the rod, whatever it is, the little pokey stick that you have, reach up, insert it into the hole, push it, there's a click and a rumbling sound, and I am going to transition your maps.
Gosh! We solved it. Oh!
The doorway opens before you into this mostly bare room. You can see this lithe figure in voluminous robes with a high collar standing next to this little dais in the center of the room. Next to them is this floating crystal water looking globe with a coin floating in the center of it about the size of like a silver dollar or so, so about like that big or so. The figure stands next to the orb, arms loosely at side, a little smile playing across their face, and so, I honestly thought y'all were leaving for a second. Oh, come on in.
Where are we entering? From the bottom or top?
Y'all are at the north. You can see now that there is another doorway at the southern part of the... Hold on, that's right. Y'all can't see it. Y'all are entering from here, and y'all can see at the southern part of the door, the wall, there is like an obvious door from this side.
I mean, Ingrid's gonna probably walk in. She doesn't really know what the manners are for this kind of thing, but they're here, they're invited. Walking in sounds perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, like up to this point it was breaking and entering. But now that we've been invited, it's perfectly fine. It's like, we're vampires like that.
Darling, whatever happens, you have to tell me you're Taylor. Is that Silk?
It kind of like shakes its head. And now that like as you get in and you approach, you can see that the robes are kind of old. They look like they're rotting in places, and as you move forward, you can see more and more of the figure's face and musculatures. The arms are very like covered up with the robes up to the hand, where the fingers are bony and with gray flesh around sharpened claws. The cheeks are kind of sunken in, and the eyes have this kind of hollow, distant look. So I honestly had wished y'all would just leave, or maybe take my advice and jump into the chasm. I am going to give you this one last chance to make the smart decision here.
Do you have a brass coin?
They are literally
Right there.
literally standing next to a floating crystal-y looking orb with a brass coin in the center of it glowing with this faint light.
That thing.
I'm getting a weird echo from you.
Oh.
That's weird.
That's just his simic stutter.
I mean, it's not bad. We didn't hear that from you before, so if you change something, careful. So, the figure goes and gestures towards the door. So, I would really rather not do this. Please, just leave. Don't make me clean up another mess. I mean, you already killed my pet. I have to go and get a whole new one to feed the corpses of the idiots that come down here too.
Look. Get it. He's like, management down here is hell. He's like, but he's like, we were paid to find a coin. He's like, that coin in particular. That's all we came here for. It's like, but I'm guessing you're not willing to negotiate. And it's like,
I am not in a position where I would be allowed to.
so you have a boss? And it's like,
Don't we all?
If
I'd
it
like,
helps, this is unofficial guild business.
like to do an arcana on the sphere to see if it looks like it's a guarding thing or just a levitating and displaying thing.
Okay, so go ahead and make me a perception check.
Perception or arcana?
Oh,
Perception.
Arcana. Oh, you're trying to understand how it's functioning, right? Or are you just kind of looking it over?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's like holding it up and displaying it,
Okay.
or if it's a guarding, like a shielding.
Okay, go ahead and make me a Arcana check then, yeah.
Okay, well, last time I got all 1s and 2s. This time I got a natural 20, so 23.
You recognize this is some form of protective encasement, though you're not sure as the magical energies it derives from. As you look at it, the figure makes like a gesture and whispers something in arcane language that you don't recognize. And hold on, let me fix that because I don't want the inside of it to be colored. A 40-foot radius sphere of black energy just kind of erupts around y'all. Oh, nope, that's not it. Control Z. Circle, not square. Hold Alt. Okay. Still learning. Don't mind me.
Oh, I didn't think we were hopping right into the battle.
Let's see here. Yeah, roughly here. Of darkness just springs up around y'all. I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw.
+6.
14.
8.
12.
Okay, 14,
That'll be a 9.
12.
Do I get advantage for having dark vision?
No, this is like pitch black magical darkness. Anyone that rolled higher than a 13, go ahead and move yourself outside of the range of that circle.
I'm going to go ahead and roll my false life because I've said I've been trying to keep that up
Yeah.
as we go.
I'm trying to remember where I got this temp HP from. I was like,
You drank a bottle of booze.
oh, right. And it's like, and that lasts for, like,
Until you sober up. It's probably on its tail end now, because you haven't been maintenance drinking.
well, I figured that, it's like, how much of the bottle did I have?
Okay.
I thought the bottle was empty at this point. Like,
Oh,
but
if
yeah.
you've been maintenance drinking, then you're probably got like maybe an hour.
okay.
Okay, why is that not popping out? Machine, work for me! Okay,
And I'm seeing with Watcher's eyes with him sending flashes, and Watcher has blind sight 10 feet.
okay. Even Watcher is blind in this circle, and at first you hear this like soft, and it gets louder, and you can feel something moving in the darkness, stretching across and filling your body. Actually, wait, does your undead ability give you an advantage on saving throws? I can't remember.
I need a 13 to attack me on wisdom, I think, but I'll check.
Okay, so it's just direct attacks if you're caught up in a saving throw thing. Okay. All right, so at this point, I'm going to say we should probably be rolling initiative. And let's see here.
Okay, so I'm in darkness. I'm not sure if I caught if anything else happened. It's like
There's darkness, there's like this whispering sound, and anyone still in there feels like this probing touch, like something like slippery, kind of poking at your body. Let's see. Did anyone roll higher than a 20?
I've read enough reference material from the Simic to know where this is going.
Okay. So has everyone rolled initiative?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Did anyone
Yes.
roll higher than a 20? Or end up with a higher than a 20? No? Okay. Did anyone end up in the 15 to 20 range?
Wait. Sorry. 18.
18? Okay.
Mhm.
Greg?
I don't know why I misheard that.
Okay. Did anyone roll in the 10 to 15 range? Did I already ask that? No, I asked that.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said at first, but I was like, no, wait, hang on.
Which
we had-
range?
10 to 15?
That's me.
I got
13.
10.
Okay. So, Rail. Ingrid. Did anyone roll from 0 to... from 5 to 10?
9.
Okay, and Kay is acting after you. Faradir.
Oh, I didn't roll for watch.
Is Watcher going to participate in the battle? Then go ahead and roll for him. If he's just clinging to you and sending mental images, don't need to roll for him.
Yeah, he's not battling because he's not actually officially bonded yet, so
Okay.
he's not going to be battling.
And then him. Okay, so, Griggum, you're up first. As a sphere of darkness engulfs you, your vision completely stops. You hear this and feel like wet, cold, wet something start to wrap around you. At the start of your turn, you take 7 points of damage, and you're good to go now.
I think you're mute. Gregum.
I'm going to rush forward until I'm out of darkness. And it's like
Okay, so basically,
This is
like,
rough.
yeah.
here, it's like,
So-
and stumbling across this table and chairs and whatnot, I find myself like right next to him, and I'm like, "Hi!" and I smack him in the face with my.
Okay, so you rush forward, and all of a sudden, like, the darkness falls away. You almost trip over this dais that the figure is standing at. Take a couple steps up, look up to it, and it's sitting there with its arms crossed, looking down at you with, like, a little grin on its face. Go ahead.
I wish I could do something like a dirty trick where I'm like, "Hi," and then I kick the chair in front between us, and like into him, and then smack him.
Well,
But
it's just like a dais,
we're
like,
not-
it's got some stairs. Otherwise, like, yeah, I would let you do that. There's no chair to kick,
Oh.
unfortunately.
oh, these aren't chairs. Okay, and like these are stairs. Okay,
Yeah,
it looks weird. He's like, it looks
Eh.
like a table with four chairs.
yeah. I had to make do with, like, what I had on hand at the time. The dais
You know what?
looked
That's
bad.
That's fair. It's like, so I will just smack him. It's like,
All right. So you took that 6 damage, right? I told you
Yes.
that. Okay, sorry.
but you said 7. It's like,
7? Oh,
if
sorry.
it was 6, I will add 1 back.
No, it was 7. Sorry, I'm like.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
I say that out loud?
So
no,
I-
didn't. Okay,
Did
go ahead.
say 7. He's like,
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay, so first and foremost, quarterstaff. It's like, uh, 15. Yeah.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. So you basically jab. There's a second where it feels like your staff is hitting a solid object, and then with this like cracking sound, it pushes through and just jabs into the figure's chest. Go ahead and roll damage.
6, and I would like to move into a flurry of blows. And it's like,
Okay, go ahead and make your attack rolls.
let's just grab. Okay, well, I'm not sure 12 will do it, but I'm guessing a 21 will.
21 will definitely. The first one you kind of punch and like punch a stone wall. You follow up with another one and you make contact. Go ahead and roll damage.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. That's 5 damage.
Okay, so you basically like ow, uppercutted on so and it's like sways back a little with the strikes, but smiles down at you still. Rail, you are up. You're starting your turn as you do. Oh wow. 4, 5, 6. This slimy coldness kind of creeps up and wraps around your throat and squeezes tightly. And you take 4, 5, 7 points of damage.
Oof.
Oh wait, actually, hold on. I need to, because he took damage on the last turn. What did you do on your damage rolls again, Grigum? The first one was
The first one was a 6 and then a 5. I was like,
6 and 5. Maintains concentration, and drops concentration. So with the second one, strike through, the thing's just like for a second, cracks its neck, and the darkness kind of just boils away. Rail, never mind that me saying you took damage, okay?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
you're welcome.
And let me just delete that. Okay. So,
Okay, so that changes what I'm going to do a little bit.
Sorry about that. Concentration bites both ways.
Alright, so in that case, I am going to move to here.
Okay. So you move up into flanking position with Faradir.
Yep.
Grigum.
What did I say,
Bonus
Faradir?
action to
Yeah, sorry.
activate Shillelagh.
Alright. And giving him what for? Go ahead and roll damage, or attack, sorry.
First roll is...
Alright, I missed that number, sorry.
Sorry, first roll is 23.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Is it wrong for me to imagine Rail having been like Academy boxing champion?
Well, he's fighting with like this, and y'all have noticed him walking around with it, a walking stick with a bird at the cap of it. And every time he casts Shillelagh, the bird just kind of like puffs up, and like it looks like a bird that's trying to intimidate someone. So he basically...
I know he's very handy with the cane, but at the same time, it's like he probably has like a hobby, like that might transform into Tavern Brawler later on. Who knows?
So what was that
Every
damage?
gentleman knows how to defend themselves. 9 damage.
9 damage? Oh wow! You just smacked the
And
Everlove.
it is a magic.
Okay. All right. So you basically go crack, and it's like it kind of sitches in at the side and then goes back to normal, still kind of like grinning at Grigum, but turning and looking over at you. Okay, Ingrid, you're up.
I know this is a very serious situation, but I'm still like, no, never mind. Never mind. Keep going. Distracting.
So was there was the whole darkness dispelled or just the damage effect?
All of it's gone. It just basically boiled away like a liquid simmering in a pot that then evaporates as the concentration gets broken on it. So you can see fine, there's nothing grabbing at you or anything like that.
I might as well stay where I'm at, and I will hex him first.
Okay.
For what do y'all guys think with all the go with an intelligence hex.
Okay.
And then I'll do the Eldritch Blast at him.
Alright, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Alright, critical roll. Critical hit.
Wonderful show.
Yes, it is. I have missed it this week very much. I hope they enjoyed their week off. You can either roll once and double your damage or roll the dice twice. Don't forget to add your hex dice, which is also doubled. Wow, that was...
It's my charisma. $26 damage.
26?
I got 10 and 2 for damage, so that was actually pretty average, but then I got a 6 and a 5 on hex.
Wow. Okay, so basically
Dang.
Ingrid goes like almost Dragon Ball at this point. It's like grabs up a fistful of this eldritch energy and just wails it into the figure on the dais. The blast like scorches across it with like flickering eldritch energy that then just and it's like, oh, and all of a sudden it goes from just like grinning at y'all to like looking very seriously at Ingrid.
She does a quick
I like
bow
to
and she's like, for the mistress, and grins at him.
And
Just call her Ingrid Van Helsing.
All right.
I like to think a part of me that, like, is like, despite my size, I still have to dodge out of the way.
Yeah, this is basically just like huge bursts of energy.
Like we see a
Totally
glow.
losing an E.
I see like a glow from behind me. I'm like, what's that? Oh, and it just dropped, hit the deck.
All right, Fairdeer, you're up. Don't forget, you have to use a bonus action if you want K to command K if you want him to do anything.
Yeah, so I'm assuming over here there's like that protection sphere thing, so I'm going to assume I don't really have a clear shot, so I'm going to move over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fire my bow, and I would still have a bonus action, correct?
Yeah, you can either command K with your bonus action to do something, or you can take your bonus action as you normally would.
Okay. That's a
That was a lot of dice.
16 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. D8. Are you D8? Water D8. Okay, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 piercing.
7, okay.
And then 5, 10, 15. Yeah, why not? Okay, K is gonna move there and use bite.
Okay, so at the end of your turn, you point at him and look at K and shout, or you look at them and point at them, look at K, shout the attack command, and then on K's turn, it like acknowledges you, scrambles across, and lunges at the figure to bite at it. Go ahead and make your roll.
Ooh. 15.
Okay, like K latches, like lunges at it because K's been trained to like do takedowns and stuff like that. So K lunges, tries to bite on the arm. there's like this shimmer of purple-blue energy before Kay just bites through it into the arm and savages it a little. Go ahead and roll me your damage.
Okay. That's going to be 2 damage, and he needs to make a strength check.
Okay. So strength 17. So he does not go
so
prone.
he's fine.
Okay, basically like slaps Kay away off of his arms. Ah, bloody beast! Turns and looks around at you. It is looking jacked up and vanishes into thin air.
Dang it.
Okay, how long does that last? And nope, okay. Why is it not oh, right, duh.
Rail, do you still have any detect magic?
Okay. Huh.
It lasts 10 minutes, so
Yeah,
worn off.
it wore off a while ago. Why isn't it letting me alter this?
Okay.
I can select everything else. Hold on. Huh. That's annoying. Okay. Well, I can't move him or remove him, but the figure basically casts invisibility and becomes invisible. Let's see here.
But does that mask his scent?
You can't check for that right now.
Okay.
But invisibility is at least a visual. It can be detected by other means. So let's see here. On its turn, that's action. Bonus action. Does not need to disengage. Move. And that is 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Alright, you hear like movement as something rushes past Griggum and Fairdeer, but unable to see it. Any attacks they launch, y'all have an idea of where it may be right now, so I'm going to let y'all make one attack roll because you have an idea of where it is, but you're doing the attack roll at disadvantage, so that will put K at disadvantage on his opportunity attack. Griggum and Rail, y'all are in flanking, so y'all naturally have advantage. So with the disadvantage, that comes out to a flat roll.
Okay. The only thing about K is that he doesn't use sight for detecting, he uses smell.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking, is invisibility really wouldn't affect him because he uses smell. His scent would still be there.
Dogs do not function entirely by scent. They can use scent for tracking and stuff like that, but they see and visually perceive stuff. So it would be a vision-based perception unless he's like tracking or like there's something here. So in the case of being able to make an attack, in my head, he would still need to be able to see the target to make an effective attack roll, even if he's aware of the target's location. The fact that y'all know where he is and the fact that K is aware of the target's location is the only thing enabling him to make an attack roll right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like
so attack at disadvantage.
22.
Okay, I heard a 22. Yes, fair dear, attack at disadvantage. Griggum, what did you roll?
11.
11. Okay. What did K get?
17.
17. All right. Rail and K both roll damage.
Rail, I just rolled both dice, so 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay.
3.
3.
I think he needs to make a save. Yeah.
Oh, that is a 10. That does not make it.
Nope.
Okay. So, describe how y'all work together to kill this thing then.
We cast a wide.
I'd like to think that Kay knocks him down and he just Gallagher is in it.
Rail, that work?
I was honestly thinking, as he starts to go, as he goes to move away, he just kind of reaches out with the crow on the cane, hooks his ankle.
Okay.
And then just...
So, the creature vanishes from your sight, and Griggum, you're like, swing wild twice. Rail reaches out, sweeps across the ground. There's like a whoop, phew, and Kay just savages into the throat, shaking back and forth. There's a loud snapping sound as the invisibility fades and the body is laying there limp on the dais.
Good boy.
Seriously, we need to figure out, like,
scratches.
I mean, I don't hate the reverb, but we need to figure out what's causing the reverb at some point.
Is that coming from me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh.
Should have been more careful. Like,
I don't
Anyway,
know why that would be.
so,
Kay is an
casters.
extra.
What do we see about this coin here? Like, what? Are there anything we should know? It's like, can we reach in and grab it, or like?
It was shielded to protect it. Let's look around the dais and see if we can find a switch or anything.
Okay.
And while they're doing that, I'm gonna do a medicine check on the body to make sure it is, it's some form of dead.
Yeah, probably.
Unconscious, probably.
Okay, so everyone go
While
ahead and...
everyone else is occupied, detect magic again.
Okay, I'm assuming ritual cast as opposed to active cast.
Yeah, ritual casting.
Okay, so Rail kind of backs off and starts doing like some his ritual activity that y'all have seen him do a couple times to cast his magic spell. Anyone that's doing something, make your roll and tell me what you're doing again.
I'm no good with magic, so I guess I'll help Fairdeer medicine check the body.
Okay.
Watcher's gonna help me search for the button, okay?
Okay. So go ahead and make it. If you're being helped, make your roll with advantage.
Okay. I got a 24 medicine check on the, what I'm assuming is a vampire.
Okay. You check it over and like push up the lips and stuff. No fangs. It's not a vampire. It's clearly been dead for a while. The body is very lean. Like all the fat has been stripped out of it and just wrapped in skin. I'm thinking as a medical check, there's basically a snip it open, and snip open the clothes, check around, make sure, check for wounds, stuff like that. So I'm going to assume that it includes like a very basic check over like its physicality and what it's carrying. So you're going through, you cut it open, and you find just you find 4 little reddish vials of a reddish bubbling liquid in one of the pockets on the inside of it. As you basically strip it of the robes, check it out over for injuries and stuff like that. You see the injuries you caused, no other things. It's not reacting to anything you did. It's clearly like gone dead. But during the check over, you find those 4 potions, as well as finding another potion in one of its pockets that's kind of brown with silver and gray layers that resemble like bands of stone. What was your roll on your checking out the dais, right, Ingrid?
13.
13. So y'all don't find anything, but you find a loose stone tile, and pulling that up, there's 3, 4, 10 gemstones just kind of in a hidden like compartment that's been covered under a stone tile, hidden on the dais.
Hey, cool, more party loot, everyone.
Hey, sounds good.
Ingrid would also like to go over during the end of their medicine check and ask them if they'll take out the heart to put in a jar.
Okay. Rail, that would be
Okay.
That's up to y'all. Rail, if you want to do that, it would be easiest to use your surgeon's kit that you picked up.
To what?
He insulted someone, so I figure it's a vengeful person. Maybe this will be a good offering.
Okay, I mean, So we can just wait until I finish detect magic to do that. I'd be happy to help out.
So, as the spell finishes, the side, your vision kind of gets that little warp bubble at the sides. The magic items your friends are carrying lights up. The bubble around the coin floating above the dais glows softly, and the coin inside the bubble gives off its own glow as well. As do the potions that Griggum and Faradir found doing a medicine check on the body.
Probably should.
What school of magic is the coin?
The coin, it's registering as magic, but it's not registering with a single school of magic. It's registering with most of them.
Interesting. All right. And yeah, once the spell is active, I'll help out with removing that pesky heart.
Okay, go ahead and make me a dexterity check. You're not proficient with the surgeon's tools, the surgery set yet, so you don't add your proficiency. So just make me a straight roll on that.
15.
Okay. You unroll it, start grabbing like retractor, scalpel, cut open the chest, and you notice that like after having removed the robes, the body is completely like it has no secondary sex characteristics at all. It's just like a blank form almost. You slice open the chest, use the retractor, cut through like the rib cage with like the little handsaw, and it takes a good bit of time. By the time you finish, your detect magic has faded, and with like this bloody like you crack open the rib cage, and in place of where its heart is a single brass coin about the size of a silver dollar.
Interesting.
Now, that is fascinating. That's going into a specimen jar.
You pick,
So now we don't know which brass coin.
do you pick it up, the one in his chest?
I suggest we use some sort of implement
yes.
to pick
I was
it
going
up.
to scoop it with the jar.
That works too.
I'll wrap in a handkerchief
Okay.
and then put it in a jar.
Okay, so like actively, who is the one person picking it up?
Do you want to do that since you were using a handkerchief, which is a more active thing, and I'll hold the jar?
Rail's going to, unless somebody stops him.
Okay.
I mean, I can offer you my dagger if that helps you to scoop it up.
Okay. So, Rail, you drop a cloth over it, pick it up, and as you pick up the coin, you immediately feel like this offer of connection. You don't have to take it, but you have the sense that just from picking it up, you could, in a way, attune yourself to this in an instant as opposed to the length of time it normally takes you to sit and bond with a magic item.
Yeah, let's go for that.
You do? Okay. You agree to...
Every researcher knows the value of self-experimentation.
There is a shock of pain
Here to do
that
a
shoots
job.
down your arm, and it takes the breath away. And it's like a full minute before you can. You have successfully attuned to the brass coin at the cost of 1 hit dice. Which means while you maintain this attunement, you cannot regain that expended hit die.
You know that's for somebody else, right? It's like,
Okay, wait, so like, I'm not entirely sure how that works, so...
Basically, just reduce your permanent hit dice by 1. You're not going to be able to do it on D&D Beyond.
like
Hit
in general,
dice, not
your
hit
health
points. Okay.
yeah, your hit points are unchanged. It's like, but the amount of hit dice you use for healing between combat is reduced by 1.
Permanently as long as you
Okay.
maintain this. And there may be some other effects too.
So what do we see with you picking it up? Because I'm there like holding the jar, and you've got your handkerchief and you're grabbing it. So what do we see?
So, as Rail picks it up, and holds it, there's this jolt of like his arm like shakes like someone grabbed it hard. And his eyes go distant for just like a blink of a second, and then everything's back to normal. Um, Looking at the coin, you can see there's no blood on it, no ichor or anything like that. There is on one side a stylized eye, and on the other side a stylized dagger. There's no ridges or anything along the edge of it, so it's not doesn't have those grips like you see on coins. The coin that's in the little bubble on the dais is still there too.
Okay. I
Yes.
kind of want to do like a medicine check on Rail.
Uh,
Make sure he's okay.
Go ahead and make a medicine check.
I was
Uh,
actually asking more like Rail's reaction after he picks it up and bonds
Like,
with it,
what are
because my instinct is he's not going to put it in the jar. So I'm kind of trying to see like visually what he does.
Okay.
You guys don't know that Rail just bonded with it, as far as
No,
I'm
You
I
aware.
just
had
know
a
you scooped
massive
it up,
physical
and-
reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just asking like what we see when you do
You
that.
could wrap
Like,
it in
your
the
next
cloth
step.
and put it in a specimen jar.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he still drops it in his jar. Fairdeer, what did you roll on your medicine?
Oh, I have not rolled it. Oh.
And I put the jar away for now. Then
Okay.
16. 21.
21. Rail looks kind of pale and a little sweaty, but y'all did just come through a fight.
Yeah. My main concern is
Wait.
that it's like, okay, this is an obvious magical item. You just made physical contact with it. Clearly, there's some effect. Just sort of like a, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, like hold my, like grasp my fingers, hold tightly type of thing.
Okay. So,
Yeah, Ingrid, sorry, I meant to say I was going to put it into one of my specimen jars.
okay.
okay, because I had the jar like there waiting by your hand, so that's why I was asking to see like what you were doing, because I had said like I was holding the jar ready for you to scoop it with the handkerchief. So like if you stood up and you put it in a
That's fair.
specimen jar, then that would be strange
Okay.
to me. So I would. That's why I was. wanted to
Put it in
clarify.
your jar. Okay.
So,
It's all good.
it goes into Ingrid's jar. There's like a little clink, like, coin on glass. Snap it up, and who's going to hold on to it?
I think technically now I have it because originally my thought was to take the heart as a present, though now there's some issue of now we don't know which coin we're supposed to be turning in. So I think I just put the jar in my backpack while we try to work out the other coin.
Okay.
Like, part of me wants to think this is probably just some illusory trap. Like,
They're definitely magical. That the sphere is magical and the coin in it is also magical. I can't tell which one how.
Well, you only checked to see what kind of magic was coming off of the coin. Did you check what kind of magic was coming off of
Oh.
the sphere?
The sphere, I didn't. Ah, well.
Okay.
I want to look for switches around doors since I tend to do that with the really solid illusions and stuff. Look for like any switches, anything ingrained on like sides of doors. And I guess since they tend to put them on a pair of doors, I'll just check both doors.
Okay, go ahead and make me a perception check.
I'm going to just roll Watcher's Perception since he's with me.
Okay.
$15.
All right, 15. So you go over to one of the said doors, check around, don't see anything like the Demir's insignias that were in some of the other rooms. You go and check the door you came through. No insignia on that, but as you're looking around, you notice a bag kind of on the floor and tucked under the table, and you can look over the table and there's various accoutrements of research and study books, arcane objects, but none of them seem lit up to Rail's magic vision. You see a bag tucked under the table up against the back corner, and pulling it out, it's just full of coins, and it's a heavy bag too.
Okay, well, I'll show him the bag, and I'm just gonna put the bag I'm just gonna show him there's a bag and put it in my backpack
Okay.
because, like, right now that's not
All right.
really her first concern.
Okay. Let me go ahead and give you the numbers of coins anyway, so I don't have to later. Inside the bag, once you have a chance to take a full accounting, you find 3,200 copper zibs, 1,400 silver 10 zib coins, and 30 gold Xenos.
I'm probably slightly encumbered, but not by much, since I'm not carrying heavy weaponry.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be investigating the sphere with Arcana.
All right.
Does anybody want to assist me with this?
Well, there you go. Make an Arcana roll.
Like, yeah, I'm not good at this.
Well, I didn't know if he was doing it while I was doing something else or afterwards.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, that's up to you.
I'll assist if it's afterwards.
Okay, make that roll with advantage then, Rail. Or not Rail, sorry. Fairdeer. I don't know why I keep doing that.
Yay. Okay, that would be a 23.
23? I
Yeah.
mean, it looks like a bubble. It's either a bubble or it's really still and clear water, or it may be crystal. You can't really tell just from looking at it, but the coin is hovering in the center of it. There's no dip or bob or anything like that. It's just static, flat, holding at the same location in air.
Okay, so like, I'm just gonna take the flat of like my short sword, just kind of whack at the coin.
Okay, basically you're kind of like trying to nudge it out.
Yeah,
get
but
mage
I'm
hand
doing it
ready.
with the flat, not like the edge. So I'm just kind of.
Yeah, basically you're like paddleboard almost.
Yeah, exactly.
I get mage hand ready when I see him start pulling out his blade.
Okay, you stick the blade into there. There's a sizzle, and the metal like visually starts corroding and leaching into the sphere. But you go ahead and push the blade through, and you can push the coin all the way out, it looks like, but it'll probably cost you that blade.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably need some new weapons at the end of this anyway.
Okay.
And I got two, honestly. So
with
it's only metal.
So with like a audible like sound of break of metal like sizzling and dissolving, you kind of push through and you just barely manage to nudge the coin outside of the bubble before like you're basically left with a hilt. The coin falls to the ground with like tink 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 and rolls across the floor before coming to a stop.
So mage hand couldn't catch it?
Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot about it. Roll me a dexterity just to see how fast you react.
Non-natural 20.
Okay, yeah, your hand, the spectral hand just kind of swoops up and cups it as it falls out of the sphere.
Okay, I think I have, let me see. I have a spare sack with like a lot of fabric, so I'll just like bundle it in the sack and throw it in the backpack too.
Okay, so, as you wrap the sack around it, there's that sizzling sound again, and the cloth around where the coin touches starts to dissolve and burn away.
Okay, so it's dissolving the cloth. I'll go ahead and it didn't seem to hurt the mage hand, so I'll go ahead and put it back to mage hand for now.
Okay, so you have the spectral hand just kind of floating and holding the coin.
Yeah, it lasts a minute at a time, so I'm going to do that for now and let them know there might be a problem. And let's see, what else do I have? I'm going to look for different substances around the table, see if there's any little like boxes or containment type things.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
14.
All right. There's not a lot there that's like useful, as near as you can tell. Whatever this creature was, it seemed to not need any food or anything like that, because there's no food or anything like that on the tables. Going through like some of the supplies on there, you find a few strange smelling powders, but not seasonings or anything like that. You go through, there's like a couple like glass jars that look like they're set up to hold specimens but don't have any specimens inside of them. A few like notebooks with like very sparse noting inside of it, like a date and a number, and a time notation. And that's really about it.
Okay, so I'm going to use Mage Hand to tap it on one of the jars to see if it damages it.
Tink, tink, tink. Just metal on the jar. Nothing seems to happen to the jar.
Okay, I use Mage Hand to put it in the jar.
Okay, so the mage hand just drops the coin in the jar, tink, and you now have 2 jars of brass coins.
Okay, and I am going to put that jar inside the sack and see if it's still damaging the sack.
This is a different one than the one that I already burned a hole in, right?
No, I'm putting it like against it to see with Mage Hand to see if it burns the sack.
Oh, okay, you're testing it. No, nothing happens. The glass seems to be insulating it from the coin.
I'm going to put it away in the sack and just tie the jar in the sack to the side of my backpack, like hanging down like a foot.
Okay. So you have both of the coins in jars with you.
And I'm going to grab the other jar and the 2 notebooks because she's enjoying having notebooks. Did anyone check out that weird coffin thingy in the corner?
Like I feel like these should be in separate jars marked clearly, like
They are.
from chest, from diadem, or whatever it is.
Well, the corroding one is hanging from a string on my backpack, and the other one's in a jar in my backpack.
Okay. Yeah. It's like,
So who's going down to the check out the coffin?
I just asked if anyone had, because I figure I've been rummaging and busy, so I didn't know if anyone had.
I figure that's something that Brigham can actually do. It's like,
And I'll probably assist because I think I'm available now.
Okay.
like, I mean, perception. I have a +1. If there's anyone with better that I can assist, it's like
+3. So swap that around, I guess.
All right. So.
Okay. 16, 7. Or wait, that's with advantage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 18, 20.
20.
Yes.
You walk over to it being very leery. You kind of like reach under, flip a latch on the side, shift the coffin lid off, and it's empty. There's like a pillow and some cloth at like lining with some padding, but that's it.
Okay.
Oh, we got another door. Do we want to check it or head out?
I think that's
check
pretty
it.
much one and the same. It's like,
Yeah, let's check it.
I'm not sure if we might want to take a short rest before we head on.
Yeah, that would also be a
It's-
good idea, but we need to make sure we write down notes, and we also, like, I know I have some ink, even if I don't have a quill, we need to make some markings on the bag, so that we remember not to do anything like pull out the coin. That
Short
will
rest or
burn the
long
hell
rest?
out of us.
Because
Y'all, it's getting pretty late in the day. Y'all been going for a bit now, and y'all had a couple really rough fights. Y'all are getting pretty tired. But if y'all spend another
Like,
night
from
at
what
Coin
he's
Keep, y'all...
mentioned-
Time.
Go
yeah,
ahead.
like from what he's mentioned, it's like he pointed to that other door like it was way out. So we could either take a quick rest up here and then move out to see how far out it goes, or
I'm
we
fine with
just
trying a short rest.
like
We
Okay.
have a nice secure place here. We might want to just take a night. I don't know about all of you, but I'm feeling a little bit beat up.
Okay. I do have another cure wounds if somebody needs that.
well, I could guess be topped off.
I mean, it's up to y'all. Are y'all going to take a short rest? Are y'all going to take a long rest? Y'all going to open that door at the far side and go through, or?
I'm leaning towards a long rest before we go on. Also because it's almost 1 o'clock, so it's a good excuse to good way to pause for a break.
It does mean we're operating off of notes, though there's no guarantee that it won't overcome us anyway, and we should probably take some notes while we're resting, but a long rest, the main issue is we're operating off of notes.
Remember, y'all don't have a lot of food supplies with y'all, with the exception of Ingrid, I believe.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
actually fair, dear. I did half rations today because she doesn't want to ask him for rations tomorrow. So she has half a day left for tomorrow.
Well, I have none. It's like
I have like 7.
If y'all take a long rest, y'all are going to definitely need a meal because it'll be like 8 hours. Otherwise, if you're not eating something, you're going to start starving.
I have 7 rations. Like that's I don't think that would be. I think that's a non-issue. Even if I'm like giving one to like everybody.
I mean, I just need to know what y'all are doing.
We want
I
to
have
do
1
a
day's
round
left.
vote? Do we want to do a round vote? So you're
I don't
voting.
feel like a part of me feels that most of the resources we used in that fight would be covered with just a short rest. It's like we don't necessarily need to get a long rest in. It's like
Other than possibly being tired for the day, I'm fine with the short rest, and I would probably take precautionary notes while I'm on the rest.
Okay. All right.
Alright.
like if unless someone like gives a good argument otherwise, and like or at least a argument otherwise. And like,
I am short on spells, but I have 1 left.
oh wow, how did you use so many?
He doesn't have a lot
I
at
get
this
3
level.
spells per day.
Yeah, Rail does not have a lot of spells right now. He'll get more as he levels. And y'all will
Suppose
level
so.
up
Like,
after y'all get out of
I
here.
guess I'm used to so many other like spellcasters being like, okay, on a short rest you get so much of this back. And like, but that's really wizards and warlocks mostly, isn't it? And it's like,
Yep.
and then sorcerers have the hey, I trade in points for spells. Clerics don't get
The
much of
benefit clerics
anything.
have is that they don't. Well, clerics don't fall over in a stiff breeze, unlike other cats.
Okay,
I
so
suppose so. Like warlocks are like the rogues of spellcasters.
I may borrow that at some point. Okay, so y'all are going to take a short break, and we're going to take a short break too because I need to stretch my legs and get something to drink. So we'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Everyone, thanks for watching us. I really hope you enjoyed it. The background music that y'all have been hearing has been provided by Sirenscape. Unfortunately, spending a week like working on layout and stuff, I did not get it so the players can hear it. So I may have to record like just the background sound and have you guys listen to it later, or y'all could watch the videos on like YouTube and stuff. We've been uploading them to YouTube. We have YouTube. I have not gotten us to have like slash the bonus roll just yet, but working on it. Anyway, we're going to be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Everyone that's joined us so far, thanks. Really hope you've been enjoying the show. Feel free to follow us. The more followers we get, the closer we get to being Twitch affiliates or partners or whatever the term is called, which will make it a little bit easier for us to do this and let us unlock some extra stuff. Even if you don't want to follow us, hey, recommend us to a friend. We're going to head on out, and we'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. He's like,
And we are back. Hello, everyone. Everyone have a good break?
yes. He's like, get myself some coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my tea.
He's like,
Excellent. So, we left off. Y'all were in this room. Y'all just killed this thing, stripped it, cut it open its chest, found a coin inside its chest, and then decided to hang around it for about an hour or so, having a light snack and resting.
I wanted to also give Rail one of the notebooks in case he needs more space for notes.
Well, Grigham's the one that's been taking most of the notes, as I know.
yeah. It's like I've been keeping active track in and out of character.
I just figured in case we lose it.
Book.
Oh, okay. And are you? Yeah. Okay, I'll keep a hold of the extra one. I just figured if we're writing down in case we forget our memory, make sure everyone's got the right implements.
Like more than one person keeping notes can help. Cross-reference. It's like,
Yep. So y'all spend the entire break in that room, right? No one goes anywhere else?
Yep.
All right. So an hour later, you feel rested, refreshed, less beat up. Rail, you definitely still feel like something has been removed and replaced with something else, but you're okay.
As Ingrid gets up from her break, she actually looks slightly more haggard. She stands up and casts False Life, and then looks normal after the break.
Okay, so this like necrotic haze kind of forms around Ingrid for a second and then siphons into her skin, and she's suddenly looking a lot more healthy and hale than she was before.
weird. It's like, I usually just meditate and then happens.
Oh, by the way,
Speaking of which,
Grigham, unless you've been like sipping at the bottle still, your temporary hit points are gone and you're sobering up.
Yeah, I have been still sipping at the bottle. Like,
Okay.
and
Would I be able to tell what that spell that Ingrid cast was?
Make an Arcana check. Arcana? Tomato? Yeah, make a tomato check. Fruit-based salad.
10.
10? You got, you recognize it as a necromancy spell, but you're not sure what kind.
Oh, who's ready to check out a door?
I am. Let's go check out the door.
And during
I've used up a what is it? Hit die to heal myself. It's like back up to full.
And you got about like half of that bottle left. You're not taking big pulls of it. You're just doing like a sip every 10-15 minutes or so. It's not good alcohol. It lives up to the name Bads. Alright, so you open the door. There's no latch or anything like that holding it closed. Swings open, creaks, and reveals a room that looks a lot like that one that you were in before with the mural along the north wall.
And no exits from that one. It's just a.
Oh no, there's an exit. There's an exit to the left that opens into this kind of short mini hall, and then a roundish room with a bunch of hands hanging from the ceiling. There's a path that's been cut through the hands.
Quick minute to scout the room, I guess.
Look around. Go ahead and make me a roll.
Unless it's the same mural room as before. Okay. Investigation?
Sure.
Or...
I'm just gonna
18.
look for my scratch marks.
19? Okay. You find scratch marks that Faraday made on the floor, and look around and say, yeah, this is the same room.
Survival check. We came this way.
I know, that's why I did the markings on the floor.
So y'all kind of figure that doorway was another hidden doorway that the creature may have been planning to use to escape in the event of being massively overpowered after turning invisible.
So onwards and upwards.
I mean, that's up to y'all.
And upwards.
Wait, if we go back this way, we're on the correct side of the lava.
The lava is a
Get
floor
to
up, yeah. Yeah, no, you're on the right side of the lava.
Okay. I think we just go back to that door that we thought was the exit.
All right.
Well, we should now remember it's the way in because
Yeah.
we have our
Yeah.
target memory.
You have
This is true.
no. Y'all didn't take it long. Yeah, you remember the first day. So yeah, y'all remember coming through through those doors. So y'all track back through the room of hands. Edge around that room with the ghoul nest in it. Go into the hallway. There's that little flash bulb moment that doesn't white out your vision like it had previously, and the giant doors are before y'all.
All right.
We open.
Out.
Okay, as you lay your
Right.
hands on the door, I need you to make me a... No, I'm just kidding with you. You push open the door, and for massive door... These things are like nearly 20 feet tall. They are huge, and they look like they'd be very heavy, but you're able to just like push them open, and they swing with like almost like a gliding motion across the floor. It looks like it's a very well constructed entrance. On the other side,
So well oiled, even a goblin can open it.
on the other side of the door is a set of stairs leading up, and I'm assuming y'all are going to head on out.
Yes.
Yeah.
As
I was just gonna say I'd like to lead the way since it's an undercity and do the checks for where we're going.
Sure, go ahead and make any checks that you want to make as you're going forward.
I'll go ahead and do a survival check real quick just for our bearings.
Okay.
13, but we've walked here before and they've all seen it, so I'll just kind of be on point for us seeing anything or any traps.
Okay. I mean, you don't get a lot from it. You realize that you're heading westward, climbing up at not a super steep angle, but a steep enough angle that there's like a little huff to it as you like get up about maybe 3 stories before you come to a little hatch in the ceiling above you that is open and looks up into a room. Climbing up into that room, the second you cross that threshold, like, that lost chunk of time is gone. You remember it. It's very vague. You don't have exact details, but you regain your memory as you cross the threshold out of the trapdoor.
Oh, rope harnesses. That's what we did.
I'm assuming the rest of y'all follow her?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, it was like dead air. I'm waiting. Someone say something. Okay, so y'all climb out into this like room. It's still dark. It's not that perpetual like can't see anything in the dark. There's like a little light filtering in ambiently from outside. You can hear voices in the distance. The room itself is got no real decoration or anything like it. It looks like if anyone lived here at any point, they already removed all their stuff. It's an old, rundown room that you can faintly smell. Like, you ever been like to a bog and you've gotten like, oh, okay, there's like swamp water around here. It has that faintly watery, brackish smell to the area.
So you were our point man, right, Rail?
Say that again?
Oh, I couldn't really hear yours either.
Yeah.
I was just saying, so you were our point man talking with Seven, right, Rail? Where should we go to meet him?
Y'all
Do I
remember that
remember?
Meryl, you're really like kind of muted, like you're not coming across very clearly. But
That's weird.
there we go.
Is that
Now I
any
can hear
better?
you. Yeah. Y'all
Okay.
remember that there is a base camp not too far from this entrance that like is just outside and up the street a little.
To the base camp.
All right.
Sure, we'll head
Let's
on
head to
up.
that
Okay. Like, y'all have to tell me y'all are doing stuff, because otherwise I don't know what you're doing. I'm just, like, sitting there staring at you blankly. So, y'all head on out through the door, into the streets of the Undercity. There's few, like, little wisp of movement as people or whoever lives down here pokes out of corners to look at you. But no one seems to be intent in giving you any trouble as you meander your way through this dark street up to this little camp that's been set up in a torn down section of what was once housing before this entire area was built over. It looks like, and there's two people standing guard. They look at you and look a little surprised to see you. Then one of them smiles and holds out hands. Hold on, 1 moment. I'll go and get them. And turns around and goes into the main camp itself, where there's two tents. Ducks into one of the larger tents, and you can hear kind of low whispering back and forth for a moment before that guard. Go ahead.
Brigham just tries to tidy himself up as best he can while he's waiting. He's like,
Ingrid sees that and starts cleaning people off with
Yeah, I was about to say,
prestidigitation.
somebody's really good at
Watch it.
this.
So Ingrid creates a lot of little puddles of soil around people as she blasts the dirt off of them.
I like to think that's literal blasting, just bam, and then off to the side.
Yeah, she just and there's it's almost like an impact for a second, and then there's just dirt splatters across the ground behind the person. So a couple seconds later, the guard comes out, and a gentleman in blue and white robes, very neat short haircut, this kind of caramel pale skin, walks up towards you, and you recognize this person as Seven, the person that y'all met with who led y'all to the entrance and charged y'all with this. So, y'all survived. I sent word, and I was not sure y'all would make it back after it had been 2 days. We were waiting for more people to arrive to mount an expedition to rescue you. How did it go? Did y'all succeed? Do you have the object?
Think we do.
Yes.
No, we do.
And, well, yes.
We've got the object. We've also got one of them. Definitely seems to be a trapped duplicate. We figure it might be good to have that dissected. He's like, apart from that, yeah, we've cleared out most of things that are down there. There probably still a few
Tools and such.
Yeah, let me think. Yeah, there might be at least a nest still active in there. That's about it.
Okay, great. But you have the object, please. I need to confirm this, and then we can. I don't know how much you remember. I know that the memories of our people that we sent down, the ones that were very vague.
They kind of snap back after leaving. It probably we're a little disoriented, but all in all, everything should settle down after some time. So, without further ado, when I flourish over to what's her name? Ingrid, yeah, it's may you present the item?
So this one we've got in the jar on the string was the one he was guarding in a sphere. It's corroding a lot of things. It might be your coin. And then the other one was where his heart was when we killed him. And she starts opening up her backpack and
I'm sorry,
gets out the jar. The guard down there that was keeping your coin?
Some sort of undead creature, if I'm correct.
Undead person?
Not a vampire. We're like,
As a note,
was not a
we didn't like assault him or anything. It was self-defense. Just to clarify that.
Yes, I think that one needs some more research. It wasn't part of the job, so I think we should be able to hang on to it as a bonus, right?
I do not. I know that the memory that returns is very vague. The agreement was that you give me the artifact. I don't know why there's two of them, but I will take them both just for safekeeping, because if you're right and one of them is a decoy or a trap, we need to figure that out. We will...
Rail is going to punch Ingrid in the arm. Why'd you tell them about it?
because it's like,
That's
yeah.
where you're
It's
supposed
like,
to.
He kind of like, did you actually like? He kind of stops and watches as Rail does that, and he's like, well. Anyway,
what is wrong with you?
we will take the artifact. Anything else that you found, you are free to keep. That was our agreement, and we will set you up with the equipment and the means to continue this enterprise of working to fulfill our needs as well as enrich your lives. Please, and he holds out his hands for the jars.
And if he finds out one of them's the decoy, she's going to say it should probably be loot, and she hands him the jars.
He kind of nods a little and says, sure.
For display or something.
Certainly. He takes them and he walks back into the camp. And let's see here, that's 5, 10. Rail. As he turns and walks past the guards, you go completely blind.
Rail is blind?
Oh. Hold up one moment over there.
Seven stops and turns around. Yes, what?
Would you mind taking about 2-3 steps back over here?
And he sighs and turns around and walks back towards you. Your vision blinks back blinks back as he walks past the guards.
Rail, are you okay?
So, see, this is why the coin that we were not sent in there to find, it may have left an impression or something on me. I think I'm going to have to insist that I keep it for safekeeping.
He kind of frowns.
Because when you walked that far away, I couldn't.
I see. This is one of these is potentially a very dangerous item, and the other is a definitely dangerous item. We can't let these just roam freely.
Yeah, Rail,
Not exactly
we probably need to get him to the equivalent of a medic if he's having issues, because that's not
I
good.
think
Okay, alright, hold on.
I'm perfectly capable of researching this artifact on my own.
From what I'm able to understand.
Ingrid takes out the empty. Ingrid wants to be digging at her side and get the empty jar and put another coin in it while they're talking. And when he turns around again, she wants to try to make a swap for Rail's coin.
Oh my god.
Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand at disadvantage because this is directly in his face, and he is very aware.
I distract him.
And it's like
Well,
he's holding it in
15.
his hand. It's like,
Can I assist?
I mean, you don't know she's doing this because she's trying to do this covertly, and y'all didn't plan on this.
You're not rolling perception on it.
He's... Oh, wow, okay. You kind of, like, wait for him to be looking at Rail, and just lean into him, bump a little, and make the swap between them. I'm assuming it was a copper coin you put in there.
Yeah, but I look for one that looks like an older city one since the runes were down a little bit.
Okay. The copper coins, the Zibs, are either have the Azorius Senate emblem on them, or the Orzhov symbol on them.
Orzhov, since it's underground.
Okay. The coin has an eye on one side and a dagger on the other. So the second he looks at that, he's going to be very aware. But you make the swap pretty quickly.
Would he have got a good look at him already when we were handing him two at once?
He hasn't done a chance to examine them, but he'll notice that it's like, the two coins are not similar. And he'll probably notice eventually that it's copper and not brass.
I just figured he thought maybe we were dumb adventurers and we thought it was a decoy and it wasn't. So,
well,
but I did it. So,
well,
yeah, no going back
yeah,
now. We've already ruined our reputation. So.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
I could just say I handed him the wrong
right.
jar. Maybe if it
DM
comes
just
up.
throws his notes in the trash. Wonderful.
No. This is no worry for the GM here, but I'm like, this is going to be good. This is going to be great. We're going to have a reputable, it's like.
Well, you'll definitely have
like,
a reputation of one sort or another.
Yeah. Like, infamous is a reputation, certainly.
Sebin, look, he stows the jars in a bag at his side, because, I mean, they're like maybe that big around, so they're not huge jars. And he's like, stay with me, stay close, don't get more than 10 feet away from me at all times, and then we'll figure out what's going on. He turns and starts walking back into the camp. Are y'all going to come with him?
We do. I put some illusionary script on the paper that says I got the jar, and I flash it to Rail, and then I make it disappear.
Okay, so Rail, Ingrid kind of turns around at you, like does this with a piece of paper, and there's like a flash of writing that says, I have the coin, in very nice handwriting, and then it fades almost immediately before she falls and step behind him. And I would say Griggum, Faradir, go ahead and make a perception roll to see if you noticed that and managed to read the writing.
21.
16.
Yeah, she wasn't being exactly covert about it, so y'all both see what she wrote.
I give her a very swift bop on the head.
You heard him. He's gonna go blind.
So that means that we want to continue to be in position.
So, Sebin's walking into the camp, he goes past the guards, and Rail...
We better get out of here.
Vision gone.
I mean, you know what? Let's just follow him.
Okay, so you kind of like
Question.
your way after him, and after a second, your vision blinks back in, and you're standing between the two guards. They're watching y'all like, and Sebin is going into the tent, and poof, black out again.
Right,
Yeah,
how is
now
this
we're gonna
vision
have to follow
changing
her.
if the coin is by her?
The coin. Oh,
Okay.
right. Sorry. Yeah, his vision's fine.
It's like,
yeah.
wait a
Okay, I
second.
was
Sorry, I was not expecting someone to steal the
let's make
MacGuffin
it
back.
canon that she swapped the wrong jar. We actually have the decoy.
I rolled a percentage chance. You had a 50-50 and you made it by like 3 points.
I just figured I would know the jars because one of them came from like a different source because one came from the vendor and one came from the desk. But
Well, I mean, they're just generic sample jar. Well, oh wait, no, you mean like the mason jars. Okay, then yeah. I mean, no issue either way. Okay. So, yeah, Rail, your vision is fine.
Yeah, we better beat feet.
Okay.
Like, while we can. Because,
So-
you
We
put us
haven't
in this
been
hole, we
paid
may
yet.
as well run in it.
I mean,
Again,
y'all know if you run, he's probably going to figure something out. And he's probably going to figure something out sooner rather than later, because it's 2 different coins and they look nothing alike, which means one of them is really useless when it
And
comes
he's
to...
probably very eager to examine them, so,
I'll put on the
get
paper a
going.
question. Do you want me to tell him I hand him the wrong jar and take him the jar, or do you want me to keep it? I'm asked Rail.
Well, he's gone in. Y'all are,
Look.
like, standing outside the camp, so y'all are free
Yeah,
to talk
I-
to
We'll
I'm
each other.
discuss
asking Rail on
this
paper.
later.
perception check.
We're going home. We can discuss this later. We're going home. And it's like,
Well, I mean, I asked Rail on the paper, so I'm waiting for him to answer.
Perception check.
It's kind of
Perception check? What are you looking for?
If I
Oh,
notice.
just see if... Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
like
15,
out of
16,
character.
17,
I understand
18.
well. It's like,
Okay, yeah, you
that as long as he's bonded to the coin, he's going to be blind. It's like, if someone else bonds it to it, he'd probably be perfectly fine. It's like, but
We
no,
don't
we're
know
not.
that he's bonded.
Y'all don't...
Like, as far as
He
we know, he
made
touched
up-
the
he
coin and
seized-
he's cursed.
He
She's just
seized
waiting
up
for
when he
Rail's
touched the
input
coin. It's like,
because he's the only one that like she really felt she made friends with because everyone else was like, Ingrid, don't go there, and like he jumped down in the hole with her and everything. So
Oh, that was Grigum.
Yeah, Grigum's
Yeah,
the one
we
that
just-
jumped in the hole with her.
no, not when we actually jumped down.
Oh, okay.
No, that was Grigum.
No, he.
We can watch the video later.
Anyways,
Hey, we got our past videos up on YouTube if you want to check those out.
So what was your answer, Rail? Do I give it to him and tell him, "Oops, I gave
let's
you
just
my
go.
keepsake
We
jar"?
can-
yes, we need to give it to him. I put like 2 hands on either one of her shoulders. We are not making enemies with
Okay.
every guild in Ravnica.
Okay, I'm just gonna go give him the jar. I handed you my keepsake jar. Here's the jar.
So you're following him in? Are the rest of you
Yeah.
going into the camp too?
Yes.
I'm following her to make sure
Sure,
that she
yes.
does the right thing.
Okay.
I handed you the 2 same-sized ones, and I was supposed to keep the other one.
Okay. So as y'all walk
Yes,
into
like-
the camp, Rail, you walk past the guards. There's about maybe 30 feet between you and the campfire, and the campfire just goes and dies.
That was strange.
Ingrid,
You had a thing that you needed to tell him?
Ingrid, you duck into the tent, and Sebin is in there. He's holding a little stone with like intricate runes on it, and looking off into the distance. And a second later, he looks up and looks back at you and says, "Oh yes, how may I help you?"
I gave you my keepsake jar. This is the one that matches. It's got the same pattern. And she hands him the other jar.
He, go ahead and roll me deception.
Deception. Like, what?
17.
Okay, he's like, "Oh yes, of course." That's. And he looks at.
3
Yeah,
jars, and
he actually takes a look at it. That is a very interesting way to keep a keepsake. But I mean, my brother has a lucky rock, so
it was an old one, and I thought it might be worth something.
so he trades the
Yes, a copper.
he trades the bottle with the copper coin to you for the brass coin, and it's like he rolled a 1.
That's sad.
Oh, okay.
That's-
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably just like, okay.
That said, he's like, it is noted
We're going
that
to go rest up
apparently
now.
Okay, yeah,
one
you
of
have
our
this.
people has been cursed by one of these coins. And it's like,
Are you following her into the tent with him?
yeah.
Okay,
Like, we all did,
Oh, okay. He kind of looks at Grim and says,
right?
Okay, we do not have a means of dealing with this curse, and if there is a curse, and this is a very dangerous object. Now,
Yes, but
Agreed.
at the same time, like he becomes blind if he's too far away from the coin. It's like,
we will.
so it's problematic for me, as I guess his boss, and it's like to have an employee that goes blind. It's like,
Also, that's the only effect that we know of, given the 5
yeah,
minutes.
it's like
So-
he had a seizure. It's like, and then now this is happening. It's like we don't know what the coin does. And it's like,
No one knows what the coin. This is older than the Guild Pact.
Right.
Was made over
Yes.
I
10,000
thought you
years
said you
ago.
weren't sure which coin was which.
He holds up both of them and is like, I am not sure. You tell me that this one is the decoy and this one is the real one. You tell me this one was in his heart. We do not know if it was a trap, the one that was in his heart meant to kill people looting him, and the other one is the true coin.
It could be just two
the point is, it's like,
dangerous artifacts at the same location.
either it's like I have to give you, it's like, my employee so you can study him. It's like, which he probably will object. It's like, unless you're really into it. Do you want to be part of research as well as a researcher? It's like,
No, thank you.
Yeah.
The only person who experiments on me is me.
Well,
right, it's like that's probably what got you into trouble in the first place.
Zevin kind of like holds up hands. Okay.
We need to come to an arrangement. It's like,
We have sent for help already.
all right,
okay.
all right.
They'll be arriving in like a couple hours anyway. It is
Oh.
late. We
Yes,
will
for sure.
rest. We will stay in the camp. That way, if anything else happens, it is isolated to here. And when we return, we will return as a group and we will see what we can do about this curse. But please understand, whichever one of these is the actual coin and whichever one of these is a trap, these are both very dangerous, powerful objects that I am not comfortable, and the office of the Guild Pack, which I represent, would not be comfortable allowing out into the general public. So I am sorry for your affliction. We will do everything we can for you. But we have to maintain the safety of the city above all others. So
Also, do you
Yes.
have a means of keeping this very securely?
it will not leave my side, and once I seal
Like,
the tent door, no one can come in or out.
Okay, because
like-
he's having some very weird
I'm-
behaviors, and we want to make sure that he's not going to try to do something stupid and take it.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure like all the guilds are invested keeping this stuff safe, locked down, secured. And like,
Yeah, but I think we're all in agreement with that.
like- in general, like I get how the politics work, but nonetheless, it's like the general consensus is general public do not touch. And it's like,
Very much
Yes.
so.
yeah. All right, like, that's the big thing.
Okay. Now, I am going to put these in my safe, and I am going to seal my tent. No one can come in or out once it is sealed, with the exception of me and anyone I choose to let in.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That will
And don't
happen.
touch it, please.
I did not plan on it,
Okay,
especially
just-
now that
just
y'all are
making
telling
sure.
me he is going blind.
Yes, exactly. So you understand our concern.
Yes, I understand the concern. It is just I am very restricted in my choices here.
Right.
And if we cannot remove this curse or affliction or whatever it is, we will do our best, but I cannot make any guarantees. But we will
Understood.
continue this like in the morning. Once the help, the people that I have sent for has arrived, hopefully they will be able to do something. If not, we will make a plan going forward. But I will keep the coins, and I will deliver you all that I promised you when at the start of this. Okay, I'm going to seal the tape now, and y'all will need to leave. Okay.
All right. Okay. So we leave.
All right.
I leave. At least.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep like kind of hands on Rail's shoulders.
Okay.
Like-
So. Yeah. So
So
y'all.
yeah.
Why would you tell him about it?
So y'all leave the tent. He follows behind you, closes it up, and there's like a little arcane spark, and a seal appears on the door, like just a sigil. And like if anyone tries to go in, they're not going to be able to. The two guards that were not stationed out watching the camp are by the extinguished campfire trying to get it going, and they're striking flint and steel, but it's not even sparking.
Yeah, you guys got to get that fixed. Like I know,
It
Like, I know a
just
couple
went
of fire
out. I
starters.
mean, I don't get this. And he's like,
like
Am
I
I still
I know a couple of fire
or are
starters.
we
Like,
close
call
enough?
in for you, but
so.
Ingrid will try to light it with prestidigitation just to see its effect.
All right, so you light it. It flares up for a second, but the moment it's like, you're generally the sensation, okay, the fire has taken hold, I can let go of the spell. You release the spell, fire gone.
huh? Sucks to be you. It's like,
Well,
Uh,
it's going to be a cold night, my friends.
can I do an Arcana check on that?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
I need a drink.
16, 17, 19.
19?
Arcana check as to is there like a magical means of this happening, because this is like the third time I've seen this happen, and I know I'm already kind of paranoid because of
You look over, you're not sure, 100% how it's happening, but you did notice that the fire was going fine until Rail walked into the camp and got within a certain distance of the fire, at which point it just completely extinguished.
So Rail, how'd you like to join a fire brigade?
Sure.
I'm sure. I'm sure at some point during our duties we may have to help out with a fire. Who knows? And it's like, nonetheless.
But in all seriousness, I think that this is because of this affliction. This is way out of any arcana knowledge that I have, other than this is most definitely some sort of curse or permanent effect from these artifacts. That seems to be one of them. I don't know
Easier to
why.
tell if I could research it.
No.
If we hadn't immediately handed it over to someone else.
Like,
Okay.
if there's a plan, y'all
again.
gotta tell me.
There's every guild in Ravnica, and then there's you. Rail,
I kinda
I
thought
like
it
you,
was
but if I
obvious.
have
They
to
don't
choose, I'm going to
Specifically ask
choose
for something.
every guild in Ravnica. Because they will assuredly kill you.
Like,
So,
out of character, it's like, I was more than willing to just pick up and leave. We did the deed, and that was, it's like, we're going to have to live with the consequences. Failure is just as fun as success. But, it's like, somehow you managed to convince her to double back on this real quick. So, I'm like, I'm rolling with it. And it's like,
Yeah,
I asked y'all. I just wanted to
I
buy us
said,
a
let's
choice.
just go and talk about it later. It's like,
sure.
like 3 times.
There's no later with this kind of thing. It'd be locked up and behind safes and wards, and I'm not a thief, guys.
I mean,
Like, we have the ability to do that.
this has been a heck of a roller coaster
not?
ride for your emotional state, Griggum. You may want to start drinking soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I'm asking around
I'm
for
gonna-
wineskins.
Address Ingrid. Okay, on one hand, gotta admit, kind kind of mad respect for being able to pull it off. Not gonna lie, but at the same time, we kind of have to consider the bigger picture, like all of the guilds in Ravnica.
Well, what off? I just gave him the wrong jar.
Well,
all I'm saying is that we have to realize that as we are right now, we are mere ants to the guild.
yes, also the fact that something that freaking magical, they could probably cast something like Detect Magic and realize very instantly what happened. I don't think this is an object that we could, like, stealthily...
I'm not entirely certain of how magic works.
Also, the whole fact that I don't want
like that. It's like
him to turn into the thing we just killed. You know, all undead, kind of unbecoming of clerics. Even for a Simic, that's a bit too far. And we have fish with tarantula legs.
They act like they expected us to...
No, go ahead.
They act like they expected us to go ahead and sleep somewhere around their base camp here, or did we get any indication of like where, if we should just go make our own place or what?
Seven has made it clear that y'all are not getting the coin, or not getting. He hasn't told you not to leave, but he hasn't told you to leave either.
I think we have to stick by because of the whole curse thing. And, you know, like him going blind is obviously going to be very detrimental for him.
Yeah, especially going back up. Like, I doubt we want to navigate a blind man upstairs.
I mean, yeah. So, just kind of, we're going to try to find a way to make, turning the rail and addressing him. Okay, no, this is a really crappy situation. I'm going to try to figure out some way to make this work. To some degree of comfort, you have my word on that.
Very light right now, right?
You cannot have the coin. Okay?
So, horrifying thought is like, what if the coin is a phylactery?
So,
is why.
That's how phylacteries work.
Well, he embedded it in himself. And like...
So, there is some light. It's just filtered in through ambient. You're not sure if it's glowing moss in the distance, but the main source of light in this camp was the campfire that extinguished when Rail got near it. So there's like starlight equivalent light right now. So you can see, but very, very dimly.
Dark vision, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask Watcher if he'll periodically ping a picture over to Rail, just to give him an idea where we're at.
Oh yeah, could Watcher
as we look for a place. Well, not if I can't have light, so we we have to figure that out.
And I don't. Blind. If we could have at least a temporary fix, or Watcher could. Well, wait.
Do you have any torches left? Then do we have any of the torches left? So we can test if he extinguishes them?
I have a tinderbox, so I mean I could set up a small fire.
Let's go out a distance from Rail and see if we can start a small fire that's not extinguished as a test before we camp. Perhaps we can camp here slightly separate from Rail, and Watcher and Rail could camp together for now.
Okay, so, if Rail, at any point you move more than 10 feet away from Seben's tent, which is, it's ensorcered with, like, a Leoman's tiny hut. No one can get in or out other than him and with Seben's permission. So, anytime you get more than 10 feet away from it, you go blind until you get back within 10 feet of that tent. How far away from Rail are you guys going to test this fire thing?
30 feet.
Alright, y'all go out about 30 feet, roughly measure it, strike Faradyr's tinderbox, sparks.
And we have fire.
Stick with Rail.
So So if he's going to stay by the tent, we don't need to separate Watcher by him if he's trying to stay by the tent. So.
Yeah.
Which means I'm okay at that point. Like I could just use Watcher and he can just stay by the tent, but he'll be in low light.
So y'all are going to take a long rest and try and spread out and camp here as much as y'all can then?
I
Yeah,
kind of
like-
want to set up watches on rail,
Like,
if that's possible.
you can have someone keep an eye on them.
mean,
Yeah, just if we could do a rotating order of keeping an eye on rail, because I'm very concerned about like this curse, and we don't know what nobody seems to know what the extent of it is. So probably want to keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't like stop breathing or something in the middle of the night.
Well, we don't need to separate if we're not trying to spread out for fire.
Yeah.
Like if we just forget the fire, then we can all camp near the tent.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I think we may want like a watch order between the three of us, so that if Rail like stops breathing or something, we could.
Yeah. We get it. It's like definitely a thing to do. Like Brigham is definitely going to pack a wine skinner or something for this, because boy, this is
Yeah.
a real Mickey Mouse show. I mean,
Yeah.
so what order? Like,
Just whatever. I don't have the elf thing, right? I don't
you
think.
know what, I'll take first.
No,
Like,
your
Yeah.
physiology has been completely rewritten. It is noted that Watcher doesn't sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's staying up with everyone.
So Watcher could kind of keep an eye on him and send us images, I guess, of something.
Plus, there's the 4 guards that Sebin has with him that are doing a 2-guard rotation every 4 hours. So
Yeah, but see, the thing is that if he like gets up to try to get the coin or something, they'll kill him rather
You
than
won't
try
get-
to restrain him.
The only way we'll get 6 hours sleep though is if we're down for 9 hours instead of 8. So if we're all
mean-
keeping watches on rail specifically, that's only 3 people on watch.
Yeah, plus Watcher possibly. Yeah.
Watcher for everyone, but I'm saying like that's 3 shifts. So to get 6 hours of actual sleep that you need for a long rest, that's going to be 9 hours
Is
downtime.
that a big problem? Because I mean, we're waiting for help anyway.
yeah, well,
No,
the thing
I'm
is
fine with
that Rail can't do a shift for himself.
Right.
Is what it is. And it's like we'd have to pull 3 hours each, meaning we're short an hour, like for proper rest and recuperation, like for
Right.
mechanically
So
speaking.
yeah, that's what she's saying is that the overall length of time is going to be a little longer than like 8 hours to make all the math work, which
Yeah,
I'm saying is probably fine because we're waiting for probably some pretty heavy hitter healers or whatever to be able to diagnose and ideally.
at the very least,
remove
law
this.
mages who are masters of aberration, you know.
And on the plus side, rail can sleep in.
Yeah.
Good. That's really a plus.
okay, so if y'all are taking a long rest, y'all are basically the guards at the camp cannot relight the fire that they had going. So they share a couple cold rations that they have with the group of y'all. So y'all don't need to worry about not having anything to eat tonight. Y'all basically take turns keeping an eye on Rail during the night.
Please tell me you have wine.
The guards look at you and like, yes, and give you one of their wine skins. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's like, hey, can you fill this up for me at a tavern?
Yeah, like
There's 4
like,
guys.
it's got to be at least 3 steps up from what I've been having.
There's 4 guards. There's 2 guys and 1 female. When you had first arrived, it was 2 guards on duty with the female, the woman, and the other guard taking a long break. And y'all basically interrupted their long break by extinguishing their fire by letting Rail get too close to it. But,
Sorry.
so...
Start another fire.
I mean, if we camp out on the other side of the tent, is that far enough away from the fire that
Yeah,
they can
that'll
light
be
it up
far
again?
enough. I mean, once he's about 30 feet, doing some, like, testing back and forth, like, once the fire gets within 30... Because basically, y'all went out a distance, lit a fire, and walked towards Rail, and when y'all got about 30 feet from him, the fire just, like, out.
Yeah.
So as long as Rail stays within 10 feet of Seven's tent, he does not go blind. So y'all can definitely, like, camp at the backside of the tent without much of an issue.
Yeah, like, we don't want to inconvenience the soldiers too much. It's like,
Yeah, but it's not a bonfire. They can move the freaking logs.
I mean, the fire may have gone out, but it's still smoldering hot logs.
That's their problem. If they don't know Mage Hand.
So,
I
since...
feel that
Go ahead.
Faradir is pretty much that sounds like a you problem kind of guy.
Sometimes. Other times it's that is a fish with a tarantula leg. Okay. So, y'all spend an 8-hour break. Y'all have a rest. Y'all sleep. Y'all do shifts, keeping an eye on Rail to make sure he's not chewing through the tent wall or anything to get to it. Watcher just keeps a general eye on the whole place, perching on top of Seven's tent. You can see Seven, he comes in and out and talks with the guards a few times, but for the most part stays in his tent, it seems.
Ingrid writes her letter on her break that she's deciding if she's sending. She writes that on her break.
The one we discussed earlier? Okay. So, it's y'all are in the Undercity, so there's no real morning or sunlight. Just a real quick check. Meryl, can you, like, wave at the camera or something for me? I think we may have lost Meryl. Is anyone else seeing or hearing Meryl?
No, I think the screen is frozen.
Yeah, I'm getting
Can someone,
a
like,
loading symbol. It's like,
could someone, like, directly message him for me, please? Oh, nope, never mind. He just blinked. There's a peppermint.
He's reconnecting.
I think we may just have to do this as a 3-hour run.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just one.
Let's see if he gets back.
No, I mean
Yeah.
just in general. Because, I mean, I could take a nap at this point. Anyway, okay, Meryl can see and hear all of us, so we're going to keep on going. I can't see or hear Meryl, so I will at least do the rundown of it and well, okay. There we go.
There we go.
okay.
Okay.
Hey.
It's like,
Well, that actually answered a question for me about what would happen if we had someone drop, and I now know.
Chaos.
Well, no, because I mean, like, on the overlay. Okay, so you're back. You can hear us. I can see and hear you. You're not doing, like,
Yep.
to the screen anymore.
I thought he was doing a great roleplay of sleeping.
I thought
Just like
that's why I did it too. At first, it's like, oh man, he's like Sam Regaling it, like frozen, and no, my camera feed just froze. I realized that when I didn't see him breathing or moving. Okay, so anyway, y'all take a long rest.
Master the art of stealth.
Y'all take a long rest. Watcher just keeps a general eye over the area. The guards are rotating every 4 hours, so y'all are fairly well protected. On top of y'all spending like 3 hours each, basically just like watching Rail sleep. And come 2 in the morning, Seven kind of approaches the group of y'all and says, "Okay, I was not intending you for her to meet her yet, but our liaison to your group has arrived, and she's brought a healer with her, and hopefully they will be able to deal with this affliction for you.
Or at least shed some light on the matter.
So y'all walk back into the main camp, and having camped on
Fire goes out.
fire goes out. Having camped on the other side, they had managed to relight the fire. The second rail gets too close to it, fire goes out. And in addition to the two guards which look up at you, like sigh and roll and shake their head, there is a petite female elf with short, dark hair that has silver highlights around it, carrying a odd-looking object. It's about the size of a cane or walking staff, and vaguely resembles a rifle. But instead of at the tip where the barrel opening would be, there is a soft, glowing purple gem. And next to her is a Luxon, or a young-looking Luxodon, in green and white simic robes. They both turn to look at y'all as they approach, and the elf kind of beckons y'all over.
Sorry, did we get their names yet?
No, you haven't introduced yourself. You haven't walked up. You walked around, seen them. They waved you over.
Hey, just making sure.
Pleasure to you all, I'm sure.
Okay. You're walking. Rail, are you walking over to them too?
Yeah, Rail's gonna walk over.
All right. You walk over to the fire. You get 10 feet away from the tent, and go blind.
Oh shoot!
He just is like
I
he's
keep
walking
forgetting
to
about
the.
that.
And Watcher starts sending in some images because Ingrid's like, "Hey, Watcher, give him some images."
Okay, like little snapshots, pictures of the campground from an aerial view start filtering into your mind.
He's already got a cane, so he's just going to carefully
Yeah.
walk over.
Okay, so the elf turns and looks at y'all, and then kind of ribs the Lux and says, "Hey, Asia, I think this may be the one that Sebin was telling us about." And Rail, you can see in the mental images that Watcher's sending you the Luxon turning around and kind of leaning way forward, and she is big. She's like the elf is petite at like maybe 4'10" or something like that. She's a shorty. The Luxon is like 7 feet tall. So she's like leaning forward, and it's like, Rail, you can just barely feel like a trunk brushing the front of your face, and then she kind of nods and makes a trumpeting sound. It's like, yeah, he is very cursed. I don't know if I am strong enough, but I can try and break this.
Sort of. Can I do a history check to know if I know this Aisha? I think you said her name was.
The Luxon, her name is Asia. That's what the AJJA. Go ahead and make a history check.
Okay. Just because she's Simic.
No,
And
she is Selensnia. Did
Oh,
I say
I'm
Simic?
sorry. I thought, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Never mind then.
No,
Sorry.
she's she is from the Selesnya
Selesnya.
Conclave. She's
Okay,
wearing
sorry, my bad.
the green and white robe. Sorry.
Yep.
You can still roll the history check if you want.
I mean, yeah, why not? Nope.
Never met her in your life.
You look familiar. Did I see you on TV?
She kind of rests a large hand on Rail's forehead and mutters softly under her breath, "Mats," and that's open his eyes for him. And Rail, go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's gonna be a 9.
9? Okay, I need you to roll me your hit dice. Like, just one hit die.
Right, one moment. Hang on. Had to reload my character sheet.
No worries.
Yeah, it's made sweet time to load. I don't know what's going on with my internet connection.
Well, what'd you roll flat? Like, what was your roll? I can pull it up.
Oh, there. So it was an 8.
8?
And do I add like the
Yeah,
Constitution
add
bonus to it,
your
or no?
wisdom saving throw.
Wait, wisdom saving throw or a hit die? I thought you said to roll a hit die.
Oh, wait, yeah, roll your hit die. Sorry, you already failed the wisdom saving throw. Sorry, I'm double checking things
Right,
and getting
okay.
flipped around.
So that's a 5.
5? Okay, so you feel this, like, ripping sensation, and then just a sharp burning pain as you take 5 points of psychic damage as the attunement between you and the brass coin is forcibly severed.
Ow.
It feels like someone hit you in the brain with a shovel, basically.
Can you see now?
Yeah, it's a little blurry at first, but the vision starts coming back, and the guard that's trying to light it, like sparks start coming from
Ow.
the striker again. And so you have successfully broken, with the help of a remove curse spell, the attunement to the brass coin.
Hey! I was excited.
The elf sighs and pats the Luxon on the shoulder and says, "Thank you, Asia. Thank you."
Yeah, I'm gonna thank him too. Like, this is gonna be kind of a little, like, oddly sincere for Faradir.
Asia kind of like smiles and nods her head towards Faradir. So, well, I am going to go ahead and head back. If no one else needs any additional services, Cathal, it was good seeing you again. And she kind of reaches out and shakes the elf's hand, and then turns and goes by the tent, taps on it a few times, pokes her head in, and then says something, and then leaves the camp, heading towards the entrance that y'all use to get to this part of the Undercity as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put like an arm around like Rail's shoulder. How you feeling, buddy?
Like a opportunity for some very interesting research.
We should get out of
again.
here. Like now.
The elf that the Lexodon had called Cathal smiles a little at Faraday and says, but now's the fun part. You get to meet me. And
Oh, hi.
she holds
I'm
out her
Faradir.
Yes. Hello. He's like,
she holds out her hand, shakes Faradir's hand, looks at the wrist, and says, "Keep those to yourself, my friend." And so then looks to the rest of y'all. Cathal Rose Fury. I am your liaison with the Office of the Guild Pact. I will be handling your communications as well as making sure things run smoothly for you. And she pats the object that she's carrying over her shoulder and let me know if there's any problems that you need taken care of. I'm very good at sending messages.
Hey, and thank you so much for helping our friend.
Don't thank me. Thank Seben. He's the one that sent for the healer.
Of course. And I kind of like actually do like a bow or whatever the equivalent sort of gesture of respect would be.
Okay. She kind of like quirks a brow at you, but doesn't really comment on that. So, Seben is going to remain here due to the fact that this was apparently a very potent curse on you, and I am going to take you back to the surface. I will take you to the property that will be signed over to you, and handle introducing you to the trainers, and get you started on this, as well as a couple anything else that you may need help with. Okay, are we good?
Sounds like a plan.
Sure.
She
All right,
kind of
then.
looks over at. Okay, good. Grab all your things. We head out in 5 minutes. And she kind of like picks up a little duffel bag that's at her side and walks over to the guards to talk with them. So y'all got some time if y'all wanted to start prepping, or grab your stuff and follow after her.
I'm gonna grab my stuff, probably discard like the remains of the short sword.
You throw away this like half melted short sword. It's like, who needs this? And chuck it off into like a.
Well, that and also like I've dealt with enough magical effects for one day. It's just sort of like I don't even want to take that chance.
I hand back an empty wineskin and I'm like, thank you. I very much need that. And it's like, and I rush back behind her. It's like,
the guard that you took the wineskin off of like shakes it, looks a little annoyed, but puts it back in his pack. Cathal's. Oh, go ahead.
Ingrid grabs out like 4 silver from the dungeon thing and passes it to him when she sees him acting annoyed, and kind of nods her head at.
So, a quick question. Y'all didn't go back and get the coins that y'all left in that little other hidden room, did y'all?
Eridir, like in character, has absolutely zero interest in returning there. Like at all. Like you would pretty much have to tie him up and haul his body into that area. He is done.
Yeah, like while we did make plans out of character, in character, and now out of character, we are sick of this place.
Yeah.
We know where it's at, theoretically, if we want to go back later.
I mean, maybe after 2 levels, I don't know.
Like in Faradir's mind, it's only money. Like it's sort of like if we really needed money that bad,
if
we'd
we
probably
are,
just get a loan.
if we are in the red, it's like
He didn't say that out loud, right?
No.
Okay, what were you saying, Grigum? Something about being in the red?
Like, this is the mage talking here. Like, out of character, I'm thinking, it's like, if we are ever in the red, it's like, yeah, we'll probably go, and it's like a dry spell of jobs. Yes, we'll probably try and dig that out. But it's like,
yeah, like
probably do well.
Out of character, Faradir, like if it's between like going back there or like enslaving your soul to the Orzhov, then yeah, that's a bit of a different calculus. But like for right now, he's not just going to be like, yeah, let's go over there for like a buttload of silver and copper that I have to then carry out. Like he's not down with that.
It's worth more to not go back into there.
Yes,
it is
exactly.
To get the coins.
At least at this juncture.
If it was for essential equipment, like a crossbow for you or armor for Rail, then Ingrid would be all in on going back. But she's not the most cautious person, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, Faradir would not do that for a freaking crossbow.
So Cathal is standing next to one of the guards. She's kind of like got her hand on the guard's shoulder, talking with her, and is like nodding, smiling. And says she approaches, she kind of like claps the guard's shoulders twice, and then turns to us like, "So, are y'all ready to go?"
I am.
All right. So she leads y'all back through the Undercity, through like a number of twists and turns, and Ingrid, you kind of recognize the general area now that you've got your memory back, at least vaguely, and recognize, oh, Undercity, I know this. You see, like, off in the distance, there's this big Is-It machine going woo, woo, with these, like, pulsing energies that she very carefully leaves y'all around as she takes y'all up through a number of passageways and emerges into like you'll have to squeeze between two cracks in a wall at one point that's like maybe really rough for Kay to get through, but the rest of y'all can kind of squeeze and make through, ending up in a rail system that leads to an old, is it underground transit mode. From there, she leads y'all up to surface level, and she looks around. And it's like, okay, so this is the 5th precinct. So she kind of looks around and points off in a direction. So next substation is that way, and through a number of like hops and like stopping here, going here, across like about 4 hours. From getting from where y'all were to the surface level to back underground to a is it transport system back to where y'all were. Y'all emerge in relatively close to Barrow and Hill Street, and she's on like, okay, we're almost there. Give me one moment, and she like walks off into another building, comes back. A couple seconds later with like a little brown bag, and it's like opens up and takes like a piece of candy out and chews on it. It's like, okay, need something sweet. Let's go. Leading you the rest of the way through, delivers y'all to, hold on a second, come on. Okay, there we go. It did not want to open for some reason. To this location. And y'all don't need to drag your icons, but
Hooray.
she kind of stops suggesting stuff. Welcome to the old Boros garrison of Barrow and Hill. The office of the Guild Pack has acquired this and is leasing to it temporarily, as you agreed. And you can kind of see like the layout here. On the first floor, we have the double door entrance, and then a single door entrance. She points to the single door, so that leads up to the upstairs garrison, or whatever you want to do with it. We've added some furniture that we had left over, but you are free to rearrange or change anything how you want. As I said, I am going to be your liaison, so I will be residing here. You're free to reside here as well. It's your place, or you can live wherever you want. But if there is anything that needs to be taken care of, if you want new furniture, if you want to knock out a wall or anything like that, let me know. And so basically, at this point, we are taking a break from the roleplay. We got about 30 minutes left, so y'all go ahead and tell me, like, y'all can go ahead, poke around. If you want to check out an area, move your character token there, and I'll tell you what's there, or I can just explain it to you, whichever y'all want.
Okay. I guess since we do have a lull, just as a question, do I need to subtract rations for the camp sleep?
No, they fed you.
Okay, cool.
Let me just grab my character.
That means my half rations didn't come into account, so that works.
Mhm.
So I have one day.
So this is a two-story. The one on the left hand is the lower story. The one on the right is the upper story.
Okay, so we enter through here. And
That doorway will lead you to the foyer, the entryway, which used to be, when this was a Boros outpost, used to interview and interview and like, okay, we can detain him or send him to the Azores. The next room back is now your meeting room. It was a general guard area beforehand, and the four rooms in the back
Cells.
were originally cells, but have been renovated. They removed the bar doors and put like actual doors on.
Now, I'm curious about the front door itself. How sturdy a door is it?
It doesn't look. I mean, it's the original Boros door, so it looks like it can take several hits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's not
how,
invulnerable. It's like heavy wood with metal banding.
Like in general, it can. Like I'm wondering how not so much assault proof, but assault resistant the entrance to this area is. Like it's just
It's designed
like in case like something should happen, because this again is in a dangerous part of
It's
the
not like the
dangerous
best part.
dangerous district.
Yeah, you're at the edge. Barrow Hill is at the edge of the fourth precinct and the fifth precinct. So while
Yeah,
it's
but
still pretty rough, it's a little bit safer and nicer than the others. The doors can
at
be
the same
closed and
time,
locked, but there are that 15 feet of glass paneling just a little bit away from it.
like again, this was Borrow's place, and it is right on the border. It pretty much, if they had built here, they probably had to have thought, "Hey, this might be the front line of an event if something should happen." It's like,
Yeah.
this is the best we had, so they had to have built it in some way. It's like
It's sturdy.
I could see it's sturdy, and that it's likely that they had planned it to last long enough to fall back and regroup almost immediately. It's like,
Yeah, it's just with 4 cells, it kind of seems to me like this would be more like getting the drunks out of the bars type of thing, not like withstanding an assault from the
well, I know
scroll.
that every day is like everyday operation is going to be stuff like clean up the drunks and whatnot. But if something should happen, it's a Boros
It can
outpost of sorts.
withstand a light siege, but it's more generally like close the doors, lock down, survive, like wait for the riot to die down. It's not we are in a turtle shell. So you could probably lock the doors and put something up over the windows and be okay for a little bit, but it's definitely not a fortress.
So do the new doors have locks and stuff? Or they set up with locks?
There is a lock on the inside of each of the doors, yes.
Do they have like a key ring hanging up, or how is that handled?
Cathal lets you know that she has the keys and will make a copy of each key for each of y'all.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Now,
Um,
what's the situation with this table with all these different chairs? I'm guessing all these chairs are secondhand. It's like,
yeah, we just Cathal kind of nods and it's like, yeah, they apparently just grabbed and she points to the one at the end and says, that's actually a barrel. So yeah, they
just the barrel.
They just grabbed whatever you can sit on. We can get. Do you want? I can get like the same chairs and a new table and stuff like that if you want.
we can work up. We can work up. Not to worry. Not to worry. Like it probably isn't terrible to be secondhand right now.
I
Ingrid's
like the
testing the
barrel,
locks.
and I kind of give it like a studious kick.
It's not the best barrel in the world. It definitely wouldn't be used to hold like liquor, but it's solid enough to sit on. The locks are fairly basic. They don't look like high-end locks. They look like, hey, let's create the illusion that this is a secure area. So they're definitely less secure. The cells are definitely less secure than when they had iron bars.
They are at best. They are at best privacy locks.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about the front door, though?
The front door has like a serious lock on it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm guessing at least like some slots for barring as well.
A lot of the stonework has been reworked. Oh, like barring the door. Yes, there is
yeah,
yeah, you can drop like a log across it or something like that. There's definitely like a setup there where if you interpose some solid object, it won't be able to open.
How do we put a doggy door on this?
that undercuts. It's like
I know
our
That's
security by
funny.
renting out. Like if you put in a doggy door, any goblin could just go right in.
I was about to say the dog is actually a little bit bigger than Griggum. So
yeah.
So guys, offices or cells?
Why not both?
I'm gonna need a better lock. This is not a lock.
Cathal looks at it and says, okay, we can definitely upgrade the locks.
Look, all I'm saying is that if we don't make these offices. I was like, then we'd have to use our bedroom as offices, and that isn't kosher.
Yeah. I would like to have, like, if we had the ability to make one just like a cell, that may be good, but having only 4 rooms, I don't, we
No,
may,
we also have to consider, like, at least 3 of us will be doing paperwork.
yeah.
One of us
I
has a
don't know
dog.
if Rail is going to allow me to share an office.
Yeah. Like, one of us
But y'all
probably
get
needs
along
more
so
room.
well.
He and his comb have their own secrets, and I've come to accept that.
Oh, right. Hold on. I need to switch this music
There,
around.
dear.
Oh my
Enough.
god. Okay, hold on.
It's probably
But
hot.
Stop. Oh, don't. No, I'm not telling y'all to stop. I'm talking to myself as I change things. I finally get to put on some different music. I've been listening
It's
to,
probably
like,
been-
sub-audible
Alright.
whispers for 3 hours now. I'm getting mildly
That's
paranoid.
our introduction.
but just
To our office.
audible whispers
Because
in
I
this thing. Well, it's not very soundproof, is it?
It's a bit haunted. It's like, should we rename ourselves? Should we be Mystery?
Well, I mean, there's 4 of you and a dog.
Yeah. And a pseudo dragon.
I mean,
I am the shortest
show.
Fred ever.
Ingrid's been looking around for like office supplies in the cupboard and checking over here and like looking at what's left or if everything's all stripped bare.
There's, like, some basic supplies, like there's pen and ink, but there's not anything, like, fancy or high quality. Cathal kind of watches you, just, like, kind of smiling a little at the corner of her mouth, and he's like, if there's something specific that you need, I can acquire it. Then do you want me to make any changes to the lower floor or the upper floor? Have you even checked the upper floor yet?
I am going to in a minute.
Okay.
So it looks like the
looking
upper
at-
floor is a separate entrance.
Yes.
How's the security on that?
The door to the 10-foot landing or the 5-foot foyer that leads upstairs is fairly secure. It's definitely, like, not as lock the door and we are safe as the main entry door is, but it's not a privacy lock either. It's a very much a you will need a key or a lockpick to get through here.
Yeah, and I figure that they probably are banking on being able to funnel people in a stair area. It's like,
Fair.
if
Yeah.
if worse came to worse, it's like, and working off the high ground, you know. But still, looking at this is a cabinet, right?
That is a standing cabinet. It's got, like, a couple units of a couple things of ink, some paper, just general, like, we are in an office and need to do paperwork supplies. Cathal
Right,
kind of shrugs.
Part of me is like, well, if we're going to be, it's like, interviewing clients here, we probably are going to need to be able to provide something, maybe something to drink. It's like, you know, like,
Do you want me to get some water pitchers or?
Question.
Water would probably be good, but we're going to
No
need to have.
offense, but what does it cost us to have you get these things for us?
You probably don't remember that. Okay. I will be acting as a liaison between you and the Office of the Guild Pack and maintaining functionality here. I am going to arrange a number of interviews for additional hirelings to help me around here and take care of the general day-to-day operations of whatever businesses that y'all want to pursue. In exchange for this, and as a reward for retrieving this powerful and dangerous artifact that you apparently have, the Office of the Guild Pack is leasing this property as well as covering my salary and the salary of the hirelings at a discounted rate to y'all of 120 gold a month. Prorated for
Doesn't
this
sound so
month,
bad.
since the month is more than half over.
Oh, that
So
was.
Ingrid's tearing out the first pages that were written on the dungeon journal, and she writes, "Sign in, please," and puts it on the front counter while y'all are discussing that.
That
Dungeon gerbil.
was 120
That too.
Xeno.
Yes, 120 gold Xeno a month to cover operating costs. That is literally taking a loss and them negotiating down my hired contract rate significantly more than I want to admit.
Right.
That's
And I kind of like turn to look at like Crick'em and Rail, and like there's an obvious expression in Faradir that like 120 gold a month is like $1 million as far as he's concerned. Like,
Oh, how much is this month prorated?
Sorry. Maybe I may have. Since y'all will not be operating the full month, then and we are going to probably spend the rest of the month training, as well as hiring hirelings. There will be no charge for this month. It is starting next month.
Oh, good. That's
no, we should be able to get
that's great.
I mean, you can live here, and if you want, I'll save you a little money on costs. I am not the best cook, but I do cook. Food is no problem thanks to the Golgari. I'll occasionally have a few friends with the Selesnya that'll get me some fresher produce, but you can stay here and if you want and save a little money that way.
I'll admit, I'm a goblin. I've been through worse. I've slept in worse. I've eaten worse. And it's like, I think I'll be fine here. He's like, that said, again, the refreshments. It's like, if we're able to get a fresh source of water, like alcohol will keep better. It's like, if we get some weaker stuff, they can probably sip on that. It's like, but it's like, if we can get some fresh water or maybe some sort of apparatus that can maintain fresh water. It's like,
well, there is no running water here. The latrine is just down into the sewer system.
right.
There is a nearby bathhouse, and there is a few bars, taverns, and eateries in the area that we can go to get food, drink, and bring back here if want. This is it was a Boros outpost. It was, come here, spend 4 days on shift, go home.
Yeah, it wasn't built for luxury.
I can always create water.
And magic symbol letters again. She flashes each of them quickly. We have 200 gold in money.
I just.
How covert are you being with this? Like, are you doing it on a card and handing it to each of them, or are you just like?
I'm holding up my sign in please notebook, and I'm putting it on that, and just kind of turning to him while we're talking.
Okay, Cathal is completely not paying attention and misses.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably gonna have to roll a perception check just to see if, because the 120 gold thing is still kind of like.
And I'll go over later with y'all on like how this works, because y'all can assign the hirelings to do stuff that will offset the costs a bit.
Yeah.
So it's not it's not Shadowrun. You have 1 month to get this much money, or you're out on the street.
Okay. Yeah.
That's going to be in a couple weeks when I get 6th edition rule set.
Yeah, it's just I think that Faradir is sort of more like a. I need to scrape enough money to replace my dagger for like 1 gold, and that's kind of his assessment of money. Like I said, I think that like in character Faradir is like 120 gold.
We can't do this.
Exactly.
We can't do this.
I mean, keep in mind, like the average medium lifestyle is a gold a day. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like he's like, what? I mean, no,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like me as a player, I think that's actually probably a good deal. It's
Yeah,
just,
like a good deal, entirely doable. Griggum is absolutely confident. He's like,
yeah,
And while
and
wearing the
he's
breastplate,
probably been worse off than you. He's like,
while
yeah.
wearing the
Fair deal.
breastplate, oh, well, go
Sorry.
ahead. I know what I'm going to say. I want to know what you're saying.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, Faradir at this point is gonna say like, okay, these guys seem to like, especially Ingram and Griggum and maybe Rail, like have a better understanding of such things. So he's probably gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna let you deal with this. I'm just gonna. So yeah.
Okay, so we're getting near the end of it. So real quick, we'll go through Rail. Is there anything that you want to see changed about this layout or furniture-wise?
I'm pretty happy with it. I wouldn't mind, say, if we could knock down the wall between those cells to make it a little bit more of just a writing nook. But no, it could be worse. I can deal with this.
Okay, Griggum, you said you wanted to get some refreshments in. Is there any other changes that you want to see made?
like that's at the moment. I don't see anything that like at the moment. I don't really see anything that made other than some stuff we can have offhand to hand out. And like
Like documents
Like,
and like
usually
the
not
names.
like things that keep well, non-perishable, but easy to just It's like
Okay. Fairdeer, is there any changes that you or Kay want to see made?
If I'm being honest,
a playpen.
some sort of like a archery target and like a training dummy. I'm trying to think of like where positionally that would be best. I'm thinking probably somewhere on the upper floor.
I mean,
Um,
y'all could convert one of the two. Now, there's two rooms. You could convert one into like a practice and training room if you wanted.
yeah, maybe, or
But we
just
would.
like by the table, like just have like an archery target and like a training dummy, and keep the beds. Because honestly,
Wait.
I think it's just sort of like so that we can keep like basic combat.
Remember,
Still.
she's staying with us, so we need at least 5 beds.
Yeah, like I kind of don't want to get rid of the beds necessarily. Just if we could have some sort of that, and also not quite an armory, but like a stash of like arrows, maybe a couple of like swords and things like that, just so that if we need some weapons, we can get our hands on some quickly.
a secured weapon rack is
Cathal
basically
kind
Yeah,
of
basically.
like nods, and she's making notes in like a little hand-bound journal as you go. Okay, so training dummy, archery target, and basic weaponry. All right.
Yeah.
Ingrid, is there any changes that you want to see made?
How married are you to these stairs?
We can probably renovate them. Do you want like stone stairs or?
Okay, so there's a hatch up there to the roof, and it's at the same position as the entry since it's an even number of floors. What if we just had stairs going up? And then we could use that extra space for some of these things people are asking for. Like, this side would be great for archery because once if we put a spiral in, we'd have 40 feet to go shoot straight. I
Hear
don't
me.
hear you.
I accidentally hit the button when I was shifting my position. So you want to remove the stairway, have a spiral staircase installed, and have the lower floor used as a for the training dummy and the archery target. Yes.
And maybe the upper floor for anything like the weapons or something we need to get to our private storage, or I mean, it's a bigger renovation, but it would give us some space that no one in this building knows is here. And it's been a public building.
It's will take a couple weeks and be kind of expensive, but I'll see what I can do.
Just my 2 cents on it. We could definitely take opinions, see if it's much of a priority. But that's a good 40 by 10 and 40 by 10. I noticed people talking about getting rid of rooms or having to convert or build on, and that would just give them that space to do that kind of thing without destroying our living space.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, that does make sense, though. Like it was said, it would be kind of expensive, but
Yeah, like
it does kind of make sense.
does make sense. Like if push comes to shove, this might be a renovation later down the line after we've established ourselves.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, like that's something definitely to keep on the table. It's like
I was thinking
that
that 40 by 10 would make a much better shooting range than a small indoor room with furnishings.
but at the same time, it's like, where do you set up down there? Like that doesn't get in the way of the staircase where people are coming and going while practice is live. It's like, and that isn't the doorway people are coming and going in while practice is live.
yeah.
I just thought we'd have like a hidden door on the other side of the spiral staircase. Like you start to walk around, there's a door, you get up to the top level, you hit the landing, there's your door, you start to walk around, there's another door.
Cathal kind of stops and looks over the things. It's like, what we can do is pull out the stairway, extend the second second story floor, all the way across to create a closed space, install a spiral staircase going from the ground floor up to the second floor, and that will convert the upper floor into a additional open area. And
Yeah, the roof, if possible.
yeah, we can do it all the way up to the roof. It'd probably be easier to do that than, I mean, if you need regular roof access, then yes, that'll be much easier than going and getting a ladder every time you need to go up.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
roof
yeah.
access. Convert the staircase into 2 separate rooms and add a spiral staircase going from the ground floor all the way up to the roof access. Okay, I can get this done. I know a few goblins.
Oh, well,
Maybe secret hatch on the second floor to the first.
Where would you want that?
Probably to go into one of the cells. So like maybe like here. Maybe like
you
under
could do
the
it from
rug,
secret
but
room to secret room.
I don't know. Just figure like since the staircase is going to be out of commission, we're probably going to need a hatch to get to the second floor anyway during that 2-week period. So.
Oh, no one will be able to be in here during the renovation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Like a part of me is like, we are not trying to reconstruct the mansion from Clue here. We are trying to build.
Basically, have you ever seen the movie Labyrinth? No.
Ingrid doesn't plan small.
Let's start small, build up.
Okay, so I'm going to say let's go ahead and call that. It's about 5 minutes till game time. I had a blast. I am overjoyed of the fact that y'all are finally out of coin keep.
Hooray.
Yeah, and we're really into this place here as well. It's like this feels good. It's like,
okay, so
very good.
I am going to move y'all all level up, so y'all go from level 2 to level 3. Some of y'all means that y'all have a couple decisions to make when it comes to what your path you're going to follow. Get with me about those decisions. now that y'all have had a chance to play your characters for a bit, I'm going to give y'all the option to rebuild. Basically, if y'all need to change or redo your characters in some way, now is the time to do that. If you made a couple bad decisions, my one request is make sure you maintain the same name and the same general concept. Uh, Everyone that's been watching us, thanks so much. Hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. I am like overjoyed to be out of the coin keep and to not be listening to that whispery background anymore. Um, really appreciate y'all watching. I hope you tell your friends and have them watch when we air again next Sunday. Next Sunday is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode because one or two of us needs to run about an hour early. And as a warning, it's probably going to be primarily roleplay. So, oh wow, that's going to be a change from a dungeon crawl, ain't it, guys?
Yeah.
Yay.
I have errands. I got to talk to my patron about all this too before she
I've got
gets
some
settled in.
equipment I need to replace.
I have a drink I need to grab.
Well, I don't hate the idea of grabbing a drink myself.
A drink or maybe a bartender.
Why not both?
Yeah, it's like, get the bartender and he'll give you a drink.
Well, that's, I mean...
But
That's the galaxy brain right there.
I'm just thinking of your little Rakdos kid that I don't know about. That.
yeah, apparently he doesn't make drinks that kill people, so that's a plus.
So,
Yeah.
So again, thank you to Sirenscape for providing the great tool to like basically make it so I can sit down with a mixer and do a bunch of different like sound effects and music backgrounds. Still figuring out how to do this since basically everything changed over the week. We'll be back here this same time next week. Really appreciate you all watching. If you haven't already followed us, please follow us for updates. Follow us on Twitter. The guy that wow, I lost the ability to talk there. Or at least I made it through the first 4 hours. The Twitter is how we send out any important updates and are going to be giving other information about like when the show's starting, or if we're going to have something special at the end of the show, like a Q&A or anything like that, which we may do since some of the players have to go. We may do a Q&A for like 30 minutes to 40 minutes like we did a couple weeks ago. Like and follow us. Follow us if you can, because that gets us a little bit closer to being able to do subs and stuff, and being able to pay for better assets or...
Better everything.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, just enjoy it. And if you don't want to follow, or if you don't want to sub or anything like that, that's fine. Just have a friend watch. Watch our Twitter for announcements when the videos go up on YouTube. It's the video of our games stay up on Twitch for about 2 weeks at this point, and then they're only available on YouTube. But once we make affiliate or partner, I'll try and get those back up so everyone can watch. Y'all have a great week. Guys, great job. I had a load of fun. I hope you all did too.
And remember, like, the women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy.
Yeah. And remember, don't jump into any ghoul holes, and don't try to make enemies with the entirety of Ravnica.
Bad advice. Don't listen to him.
I was really hoping you were going to stick your arm into that ball. All right. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Till next week.
Bye.
All right.